to individual team fights and also provides a very powerful split push threat that's going to be very difficult for this Ornn to stop later into the game. And I think it's certainly one answer to this Ornn problem,
Victor
but
being
we'll
picked
have to
up.
see if it has the legs to go the distance.
And Victor being picked up by CA Shurima, which might I say, if a mid lane Victor is played, he can become a menace. He can destroy anyone. And especially if he's running phase rush with his Q combo, just running away from everywhere. And I'm pretty sure he can shred Syndra if played correctly. Again, Syndra doesn't have any escapes, only the flash, but she does have that stun, and Victor can run away from it. I'll just need that upgraded Q, run past her, play ring around the Rosie, see if you can dodge any of those stun combos.
For sure. And I think a big thing to look at here is that Victor's gravity field makes it so difficult for Syndra set. And if this Ashe gets locked in, her to maneuver in some of these team fights because of that massive slow, the potential.
It also looks like it's a sub support. Rek'Sai is going to the jungle side for Team Ishtar, another bruiser jungler. And I might say Rek'Sai has been played a lot during ranked games, especially from the gold to a diamond side. He's pretty solid pick. Rek'Sai is an amazing bruiser that can also be an assassin, shutting down the Caitlyn or the Victor, even the Gangplank down.
I think we need to talk about this Victor for just another second, though. But I think the most important thing with this Victor pick is that it locks an extremely safe wave clear for Shurima.
Of course, yeah.
Right, being able to not just mulch champions, but plow through those waves with the upgraded laser, and that makes it very difficult for this team Ishtar, who really does not have an extraordinary amount of safe wave clear. Like, you've got the Ashe, you've got the Syndra, but they don't go through the waves like the Gangplank and the Victor can, and having a push advantage can be such a big deal once you get into the later parts of the game. But as you say, the Rek'Sai, Ashe, and Sejuani picks coming through as well. I'm interested in seeing this jungle matchup between the Rek'Sai and the Sejuani.
Right? I can also mention that CA Shurima's, I can see their team fight potential in this. Having the Braum ulti in with the Sejuani ulti as well, bringing down the Gangplank ulti and then having the Victor ulti in there, it's a lot of AoE damage. It's a lot of AoE damage actually. And especially if they can lock down either the Syndra or the Ashe, even the Rek'Sai to be exact. If they can lock them down with the Sejuani's ulti and then coming in with the Braum ulti, it can get nasty. And especially because Ashe and Syndra don't have an amazing escape.
Oh, I mean, I would consider Flash to be an amazing escape, but that's once every 5 minutes. So
exactly, but you don't have it like Sett who can just tank it, press W, and then run away.
Or you don't have it of speed boost, right?
Yeah. Even with Ornn, he's mega tanky, but he can still dash through. Even though it's a small dash, it has like a 1 second animation lock. Still escape, and you have Rek'Sai who can just literally just burrow through and still have flash.
So looking at these two team compositions as they're lined up, right, Applejacks, we've got Ornn, Sett, Syndra, Rek'Sai, Ashe versus Caitlyn, Braum, Gangplank, Victor, Sejuani. These teams want to do two very different things, right?
Yeah.
Team Ishtar is 100% dialed in this Ashe ult into teamfight engage 5v5 all in, whereas Shurima has opted for what looks to be a very classic 4-1 setup, right? Have that Gangplank in the side lane with the other 4 members of the team, look to shove waves, have wave control, constantly pressure around the map, and try to stay out of the way of Ishtar's engage. So I think that's going to be a major point of contention for both of these teams. Can Ishtar make the pick, and can Shurima avoid it?
To be honest, if Shurima plays their marbles right, it can get nasty. They can just steamroll this whole game. But again, we can't underestimate Team Ishtar. Like I said, they are undefeated for a reason. They have played so well during this whole tournament, playing like a true team and going through like the ups and downs of being behind, but then again just bringing it back, reverse sweeping a lot. But again, CA Shurima, I've seen them in the Discord calls. They have always practiced. They always communicate. They've been trying their damn hardest to get up here, and this is their time to shine, to prove that they can take down. If they can take down the first place seed, they can take down anyone. They're the only team that has had practice for a long period of time, have communicated for a long period of time, and literally put their 10% like effort in this tournament. Like I said, if CA Shurima wins this against Team Ishtar, I think they might just make it to the finals.
Well, right. I mean, again, Ishtar is the team to beat coming to playoffs, right? Like they are absolutely a dominant force and have been for the entirety of the season. And Shurima, well, I would not say having put up anything less than a good performance in the season is definitely not the favorite team heading into this best of five. So I think a big thing to look at here in specifically this first game, right? This is a best of five.
Yep.
It can be a place for both teams to kind of test the waters, see if they've got a strategy they've been practicing, seeing if that's going to be effective. And you can always bounce back. Like losing one game at a best of five is far from the end of the world. I think the big thing that's going to be very telling for this entire series in game number one is how does Shurima play this 4-1 composition that they've drafted, right?
Yeah.
If they are capable of pulling Team Ishtar around, giving them the taffy treatment and preventing Ishtar from ever getting that true 5v5 engage that they want, that bodes very well for Shurima's chances throughout the rest of the series. But if Team Ishtar is capable of executing very cleanly on their composition, which I would say is the easier composition of the two to execute, I think that is the kind of momentum that Shurima may have difficulties battling back against heading into game two.
But again, like I said, it's all down to how they play in game and how the mentality is today.
Sure, right. That's a great point that you make, Apple Jackson. That League of Legends isn't necessarily about who's the better team always; it's who's the better team on the day. And if one team isn't giving their 100%, or if they've been figured out, which is something you can look for with coaching staff or some smart players who really know their stuff. I mean, that can certainly make a huge difference.
Another thing is the fact that like we can't you gotta understand that when BTL happens, there's always that one star player that happens, and like they're the only one that carries the whole team throughout the whole series with their back end. These two teams, they have all notable players. They all performed very well. There has yet to be one of these days where any of these teams have performed badly. Specifically, these two teams, they don't have, like, let's say an Expo. They don't have a Wayman. They don't have anyone, like, that's, 100% known, but it's their team that's 100% known, not the one player.
Right. You make a point is that it's not a roster of stars, but it's a roster that all works well together, that knows their stuff, and always gives that strong performance.
Exactly.
And I think that's such a good point that you make there, Applejacks, in that it's oftentimes just as important how maybe even less important how high your ceiling is, and more important about how high that player's floor is.
Yeah.
And I've casted for both of these teams here in the BTL, and I haven't seen a single player here that is out of place in terms of skill level, right? I think that I've seen strong performances from each of these 10 players, and what I'm really looking forward to is, when you've got 10 strong players all said and done, is there going to be someone that finds the secret sauce and can pop off, or really give a grade A performance? So I think that's something to look out for, certainly. But I want to talk about some of these matchups, right? I want to talk about the Caitlyn Braum versus the Ashe set, because I mean, Caitlyn Braum is a very strong defensive pushing lane, and the Ashe set may have some difficulties, especially in the early game, pulling the Braum off the Ashe. If Caitlyn and Braum can get onto Frostbite, this Ashe is going to have some very serious difficulty staying alive in the 2v2. And if Adararde's Caitlyn gets ahead, that is a terrifying matchup to be put in as the Ashe.
Yeah, the Caitlyn is such a early game like lane bully. He can specifically just the basic attacks, having the headshots in there, and especially having a Braum passive on one of them. What's gonna be scary really is how Team Ishtar's jungler is gonna play against the bottom side. Because if they're gonna play more passive against Team Ishtar's side, they have more potential of ganking the bot lane and just having the Ashe get ahead. Because Ashe in early game, not that good, in my opinion.
She start, becoming a powerful carry threat.
And while Caitlyn, while she only needs either a Storm Razor or just having to BF it
just
early,
it's smothered.
It's just so scary.
It's a smothering amount of lane pressure, Applejacks. Like you just feel like you can't even walk up because Caitlyn's going to have the headshot. She's gonna dink you for 200 damage. You have to walk back with your tail between your legs. And This is at every point of this lane. If the Ashe falls behind, it becomes so hard for Frostbite to exert pressure. And I'm very curious to see how the tilting factor in the spot lane matchup goes, which is the jungle. I mean, you got Voperdo on the Rex side versus Wanna Fly High Sejuani. Aggressive versus tank jungler. We'll have to see how that one pans out as we count down the last remaining seconds of spectator delay. We'll be right back in just a few more minutes with our first game of this best of 5 set. You won't want to miss it here on the Black Twitch League Twitch.tv channel.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah,
I really want to see who's gonna win this.
When hopefully we are all synced up and ready to go for this game number 1 of tonight's set.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, gonna be seeing a 5-mana invade stack coming through from Shurima, but immediately spotted out by that ward coverage there. They are gonna get some vision of that red buff, but not anything else there. It's going to be interesting here. I mean, I suspect that we see the Sejuani start on that blue side to get the leash assistance of Adarade and Uredi in. Worth mentioning, Adarade has opted for that cleanse, which is going to be very good against the potential of the Syndra stun, as well as the pick off of that Ashe ultimate.
Yeah, it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a scary game. It's gonna come up. If, like I said, if this Caitlyn gets ahead, it's just gonna be just all around, just punishing.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing this mirrored bot side set from both of these junglers, red buff and blue buff, respectively, aided by those bot laners. I think one of the things to look out for here in the early game is going to be, you know, who's getting the early lane priority, and maybe more specifically, where the junglers are looking to path, right? I mean, both of these clears sets them up towards the top side, though. Voperdo does have that slight timing advantage, as Rex does have a faster clear than the Sejuani does, especially against those multi-enemy camps.
Yep. We're seeing some really early aggression against the bot lane as well.
Right, I mean, this is to be expected, right? The range advantage that the Caitlyn provides is, quite frankly, insane against a melee and an Ashe, and they're really going to have to be on their toes here for the side of Ishtar to make it through this laning phase more or less unscathed. Nice winner's bite landing on Sincere Support, taking a fair bit of damage with the rocking stun.
Oh? Let's see how this top lane going. The early aggression coming from the game plan, taking some chunks of health. Ooh, some nice health coming down from the game plan against this Ornn.
Right. I mean, this is going to be kind of the story of the matchup. Is that Gangplank really gets to choose kind of when and where he wants to handle these 1-versus-1 fights, and Ornn just kind of has to sit back and try not to get out too hard. Yeah, just gotta take it.
Just gotta take it down from this game plan. Level 3 coming from both top lanes. Again, Ornn is half HP, but yeah, you know, a stun coming from the Syndra. Ooh, and proccing the electrocute against the Victor, but the Victor does still have the shield on there. And early gank coming from the right side.
Here, definitely Rin could be in trouble. Eats that pop up there, but has the barrel. Drops fairly low. The Conqueror proc from Voperdo is going to be bringing definitely Rin down to about half health, but great trigger discipline on that flash from the Gangplank. Gets out without using that summoner spell, and is going to relieve some of that pressure on the Ornn, though, as the wave was falling into Tycoon's hands.
Yeah. Taking away that early flash from Gangplank could be detrimental, because the Rek'Sai can just come around and just gank again, and like just, you know, he didn't have enough mana to use remove scurvy, so it would have been troublesome. Early gank coming from the Sejuani as well, stunning the spec, using heal.
A ton of damage as well as the trap coming on in from the Caitlyn. Jumping a lot of damage in on Sincere Support is going to force the Ash Heal on out, and that is a summoner burn in exchange for none. Trade certainly falling in favor of the side of Shurima here.
Yeah. Actually having to use the heal against the set just so you can survive. It was, you know, again, the set does have the early W with, you know, giving you that boost of shield, but it doesn't really do that much when they have 2 stuns on the team.
Yeah, I think a big thing too is that this is a set who does not have a lot of damage. He doesn't have the levels. Was shoved in by Adarade and Ready, and while the set support is interesting, I feel like it's maybe kind of a misuse of this champion. I really would like to see him in a role where he's getting more gold, more ability to, you know, actually impact these fights, but we'll have to see if Sincere Support is able to pick it up here once he is unlocked from this very difficult bottom lane.
Again, this early aggression from Gangplank, pushing this Ornn back, is kind of like, he knows how to play the Gangplank. He knows how to play safe as well.
Well,
there's a lot of Gangplanks who tend to be scared against the tank Ornn, knowing that they can't do that much damage. But here's Gangplank just being aggressive. We see that Rek'Sai down in the bot lane looking for a gank, trying to get the bot lane, but looks like he got spotted out and now is going back to his jungle camp.
Right, and I think the big thing that you need to look at your top lane is, yes, definitely Rin is 100% chunking out Tycoon, but look at that score difference.
Yeah, the CS difference.
Up by Tycoon. That's absolutely insane advantage for this Ornn already. And I mean, if you're the Gangplank, you're the one who's supposed to have that kind of CS advantage in lane.
Teleport coming down from the Ornn, crushing down the Gangplank with the early chain vest. Gangplank no longer is going to be doing that much damage as well. But again, if the Gangplank plays his cards right, it doesn't really matter. Level 6 coming from the Ornn, that's going to be very scary if he does go ult in, and if the Rek'Sai does come top. We see that Sejuani down at the Dragon Pit just trying to take it away. Oh, here comes the early aggressor from Ornn. Gonna ulti. And here he connect. Basic attack, and is this an early get? Oh! First blood coming from the Ornn. Tycoon knew what he was doing, getting the ulti down, getting the passive up, and doing the combos correctly, taking down the early GP. That's just... Ooh. That's just detrimental.
Sure enough on that one, Applejacks, and we're going to be seeing the trade attack. The flash in from Sejuani. A nice play there from Voperdo for the knockup, but this will be the Drake taken on out of here. They do have the priority. And Sejuani with a nicely timed smite will take that opening Ocean Dragon, and that is a lot of sustain coming on through here for the side of Shurima.
Yep. Dragon going to the side of Shurima. And especially it's it's a Ocean Drake, so that's gonna be very good for the Sejuani and also for the GP, to be honest.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, when you're looking at a single Ocean Drake, right, it's better to get that one early while you still have the time in lane, while you still have the ability to, really make the most of that in-lane regeneration coming through here. So I think a very good pickup and maybe a little bit of a greediness coming through here. They just got that solo kill on the top side of the map. No teleport available from the Ornn, and I guess the gangplank. So maybe a little greedy trying to have your cake and eat it too there, but still not the worst case scenario. No death given up, but the dragon and the time spent there, kind of a rough one to lose.
Oh
my lord!
He canceled auto.
That's rough.
Oh.
Definitely Rin still taking a ton of damage here. Tygoon out in force still. With that 20 CS lead as well as the solo kill. Definitely Rin definitely needs to be careful in this 1v1 top.
You can see Tygoon getting aggressive up in here. Really wants to get that combo in to take out Rin immediately again. But Rin is playing safe, so that's a good thing. He's not playing overly cocky. Oh.
There's the ult landing from Sejuani. Quite a lot of damage going to Tygoon. The Ornn Horn gets off. The pop-up is there. Voperdo gonna be looking for the trade, finding some damage against definitely Rin here. Gets that barrel pop, finds that damage. Looking for the stun. Will cancel that, but the ult on back in from Voperdo onto Rin. I don't want to fly high. A little bit questionable there. Doesn't go back in for the trade despite having a ton of health and a red buff.
Yeah, I don't. My thing is like I don't know why he kind of went back in there even though he was low. I was thinking maybe he was thinking that that the Rek'Sai didn't have a mark on him, so he couldn't ulti. But it looks like it didn't go in his favor.
Roaming on down there, getting some of that vision cleared on out, and curiously, Set going on in there, looking for this play. Ethan forced on back, and JC will pop that Chaos Storm, and there's the Caitlyn coming through is just enough, and Adorarte takes the kill.
Let's go, Caitlyn. That's some big damage, and that's a huge lead coming from the game. What did we say early in the stream? When that Caitlyn has that BF sword. When that Caitlyn has that BF sword, it's scary. And we just saw him get a kill. And you can see that Caitlyn.
I think maybe this is one of those tough situations where you have your lanes paying for your own sins there, and Ethan with some less than judicious pathing there ends up getting found out by JC's Victor, who gets all of the damage in the world off, and Caitlyn roaming up just in time to get that final shot is going to make it that much more difficult for Frostbite and Sincere support to be in this bottom lane. Though worth mentioning, creep score is still fairly even between these two AD carries despite that range difference.
And also the fact that you got during that little quick session that was happening over there in the jungle side, if you noticed, Victor did butt ton of damage.
Just a grip of damage, yeah.
Just melted down the Sidra. Just like he just did not care at all in the world. Literally was like, all right, you want to get that ward? Fine, I'm just gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt you real quick just because you wanted to be greedy.
Then pay for it with your life. So
right down to the headshots.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's a real rough one. Like, is not only does that Syndra give up, another 20 CS lead to the Victor in mid lane, which is tough as it is. You think that kill over the Caitlyn as well as the assist to Victor. We see a gold lead now for the side of Shurima, 300 up, looking pretty good despite that solo kill in the top lane, and the holding CS lead. Want to fly high, a great ult landing onto Ethan, who eats the wombo, and Adorarte just there in time. No. History repeats itself.
Caitlyn getting another kill down in the bot lane. Now Ishtar has got to be working.
Well, actually, Caitlyn was in the mid lane when she got that kill.
That is true, but still, she still got the kill. That's the thing.
Right. Oh, but speaking of kills here, definitely Rin in trouble. The Ornn Horn coming through the flash just a little wide. There's the flash. Another clap is enough to take that kill. Tygoon, you're a monster.
Another solo kill going down to the Ornn, and again, he played that really well. He played that, but too bad for Rin flashing into the Ornn ulti. It's just unfortunate. You just hate to see it.
www.thataintitchief.com. So
man.
that's a rough one. I think a big thing is that, like, especially when you're looking at a setup where you specifically counterpick this game planning, but I don't have the opportunity to go in here as the teleport is channeled, Dragon is taken, Frostbite in peril, burning out of the game plan goal, but is enough to crush the front line. Two picked up already. You ready for it? On back there, it's in support. A sliver, but definitely Ren taking that kill. Tygoon may be in trouble as well. Volperdo, as well as Adararde, looking to kite this fight out. Stun does not land for Ethan, and they lose 3, and the Dragon for just 1. A huge turn for the side of Team Ishtar.
Oh yeah, Team Shurima. I understand that what you're trying to do there, but got a little bit greedy. Didn't see the orange TP coming down, and just had a 5-man while they had a 4-man during that fight. So
yeah,
that fight had to go to Team Ishtar. They played it well. That Seth pushed Sejuani back so she wouldn't go for the steal, and you just see the nasty 3-man stun from the Syndra, getting the Sejuani, the Victor, and the Caitlyn going down. But again, this isn't the end of the world. Even though they lost 3 kills and they lost the Dragon, they still have.
It's only 300 gold the difference there. Like they did not lose a huge amount of money here, but if this Rift Herald crashes into the tower and takes that could certainly make the difference.
Yeah, that can make a difference. Having that first turret blood.
Oh my God, Tycoon, you're just constant aggression against this gangplank, and this is the thing that's most worrisome, right? Is that you're playing the gangplank. You're supposed to have a fairly decent lane matchup in Ornn throughout the early game. Down 20 CS the entire lane phase. Down not 1. Not 2, but 3 solo kills across the duration of lane phase. Like that is such a huge showing from Tycoon, right? And it really sets the clock back on how long it's going to be until this until this Gangplank is an effective champion.
Yeah, and first turret blood is going towards CA Shurima, bringing back the gold lead towards their side. Up by 200.
Yeah, and I mean, getting the first tower in the mid lane is especially good, since specifically it's going to the pockets of JC. This Victor performance been very good all game long. Nice CS lead. Another great ult from Wanna Fly High, and the Wombo is in as JC takes a well-deserved kill off the gank.
Top lane is doing well with the solo kills, but here comes the mid lane again, just being ganked after ganked after ganked. Just this isn't Syndra's time. This isn't getting caught out.
Highest time as well. JC is here, but already that damage coming on down in a big way. Volperdo fairly low. Gangplank looking to rejoin the fight. Pinkward's coming on in as well. Volperdo trying to chase it on out. Gangplank goes wide. That's a lot of damage. The ult comes on through under the tower. Will not be enough to heal, but it will!
Oh my God.
You ready? Getting kited on down as well. The slows from the Ashe just too much, and the grit punch from Sincere Support takes that kill, but the Caitlyn ult just in time to nail the shutdown. Still a 3-4-1 on the play. Not what you're looking for.
Oh yeah, that Caitlyn's an American sniper. Finding he just smells the blood. He's like, I smell someone so low, and where are they at? And just getting the ulti down.
Trouble though, this bottom lane tower will instead be tying up that structure score 1-1, and this game has been bloody near that 1 kill a minute mark. And I mean, you've certainly got members with a lot of power on both sides, right? A lot of the kills have fallen into the pockets of Volperdo. 5-1-1, nearing 2 completed items in 16 minutes. On that flip side, Caitlyn already has a Storm Razor, already has a very nice CS total here, 150 on the current game clock, and these are certainly carry threats, but it's going to be kind of a rough one. Again, like, how do you transition this Rek'Sai who's going with a very aggressive build in the late game, and how does Shurima, manage to get this gangplank late enough to be a major carry threat?
And I was saying earlier, when we were doing the pick and ban phase, I did say that when Rek'Sai gets a little bit fed, he can become an assassin. He can take out the Caitlyn in one fell combo.
Yeah. Just the classic one shot, right? Exactly.
Yeah, just having that Q, knock her up, use your three hits on your Q, getting that ulti off, just taking her out.
Yep.
But Serious Shurima's got to be careful here. They had that lead earlier, but Again, just one team fight just changes everything.
Oh, without a doubt on that one, Apple Jackson. I think something to look out for here is that Volperdo has been just tearing across the map, right? Like, Wanna Fly High has had some good ganks, but in terms of total jungle pressure, this Rek'Sai has really just kind of had the run of the roost. And Wanna Fly High really needs to be looking to make a difference in these team fights, especially as this first mountain dragon of the game is spawning. Gameplay coming around the side does have that cannon barrage coming up in just a few more seconds. 7 until the cannon barrage is up. There's the wow, what a huge face breaker. You already in trouble, but what a huge ultimate across the team. The Ornn called will get the knockups onto 2, and that's you ready falling. But still in the front line, Tygoon dropped down to his liver. Sai is definitely running, jumps on in there. Take to take Ethan, but he gets kited out and stopped. That's a huge kill coming on through. Adararde with a Peacemaker is able to take that kill. The ultimate channeled by the Kaelin is not enough to take that kill. Volperdo cleansing, a huge stun from the Victor. It's the kill. Ash is there, and the full ace coming through for Team Ishtar.
Wow. That was a beautiful fight coming from Team Ishtar and Team Shurima, but Team Ishtar just coming up on top. That was just amazing. The cleanse going well with the Caitlyn, but it wasn't enough for the fucking ulti. Oh, sorry for the cursing. It wasn't enough for the ulti from the Rek'Sai just taking down the Caitlyn, and just how close the GP was, just killing at least 2 of their of Team Ishtar's enemies. Oh man,
so close. And the thing that's so rough is that attack move would have been enough to do it, right? Gangplank, I think, canceled 2 or 3 autos there, and that would have been enough to totally decide the fight. If Ethan doesn't get that stun off, if Gangplank has more health, just the narrowest of margins falling the way of Team Ishtar is enough to decide the fight in their favor.
And during that fight, you saw how Seth got that 3-man stun, pulling 3 of Shurima's teammates. But at the same time, he wasn't alive enough to throw out that W. It would have been a one-sided fight for Team Ishtar, but because of that one little mess up, it just didn't bring in that full fight. But they did still win. Like I said, Team Ishtar just pulled the right cards, managed to dodge a lot of stuff, and still come up on top.
It's that team that knows what to do in the scramble. Is Tygoon once again going on to JC? That Orange just does not care about what Victor's damage is. But the thing I'd like to remark on here is look at where the kills and where the gold is falling for the squad. 8, 1, and 2 on this Rek'Sai. 2 fairly offensive items here. Not going to have a lot of tankiness if he is caught out. So I think Volperdo, if he's allowed to play the Rek'Sai as more of an assassin style, is going to be pretty effective. But again, if there's ever a situation where he's out of position, he gets caught, the CC is landed properly, and Caitlyn gets enough autos down, it could be a very quick death for this Rek'Sai.
Yeah, it looks like this Rek'Sai is also trying to build a death stance so he can have more sustainability when he goes into the team fights, and that's gonna get scary as well. As you said, if he's going more assassin build, it's gonna be scary. Caitlyn.
Now, if there's one thing that I do think is very much in favor of CA Shurima, it's that this wave clear, they have 3 champions who are all capable of mulching these waves. Like, you've got the Caitlyn who can put the Peacemaker through it and auto through with the range. You've got the Gangplank with his barrels, and Victor who can just drop a single laser, take out all those casters. Those are all things to look for once you get a little bit further into the game. And as long as the gold lead isn't too terribly out of control for Ishtar, Shurima certainly has a chance to come back in.
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, it's just depending on how they're gonna peel for this Caitlyn, because Caitlyn, again, 5-1. Her first death was during that team fight. Playing safely, playing it back, still getting the teammates down on the side of Team Ishtar. But again, it's just that scary just that Ornn's ulti, the Syndra stun, or even just the Rek'Sai hitting his Q onto the Caitlyn. It can just take her out of the fight. It just doesn't matter.
But looking at the score here, 14-8, 22 and a half minutes. A little bit of chance to majorly caught out a great face break from the set, but a nice taxi on over the wall, and maybe a little bit questionable on the cannon barrage there from definitely Rin's Gangplank. They're pretty sure for that long cooldown with Baron buff up, that's one less tool to contest if they need to.
That was a really well-timed face breaker.
Mm-hmm.
That was really well timed.
Oh man, look at that total lack of damage onto the orange. JC could be in trouble here as Roberto goes on through, no flash available. A nice stun lands, but JC has to go gold and the rest of his team in no position. And Victor will certainly fall to the pressure of the four-man squad from Team Ishtar.
Yeah, you can't really get caught out during this time. Yeah, I understand that you're trying to...
I mean, you can, but it's probably a bad thing if you do.
Yeah.
Oh, you're ready there. Barely doing a face breaker that time. No stun to land, but the double wave top is going to make it a difficult defense of this tower, but that wave clear coming through in a major wave. Goves through, smashes that wave. No cannon this time, that's going to be the force on back, though. Taking out that top lane inner tower paves the way to a clean Baron attempt.
Oh yeah. Again, Team Ishtar pushing through everything. They know they have the lead, trying to end the game as slowly as possible, but just surely. Trying to secure it. They don't want to waste. They don't want to risk on needless team fights. Getting good picks as well. And we're just going to see what's going to go happen here in the Dragon Pits.
Right. I mean, this would be the third dragon of the game for Team Ishtar. And even 5-stack is here. The Predator Boots have been popped, courtesy of using that classic. Stone, but they do find the star, and the Ethan with the follow-up isn't there. Horn available, will be looking to land it across the team. Pop-ups onto the back line. Rek'Sai immediately onto the Caitlyn, looking to kite it on out there. Voperdo will fall, and a nice blast cone will force Tycoon to flash over the wall to claim that kill. And JC cratered as well. The 1-for-5 dragon taken by the Ashe, and Team Ishtar once again takes the fight in the objective.
Styles and Rek'Sai going out, taking out the Victor, and actually just pushing the Victor and Caitlyn way to the back, while Team CA Shurima's tanks are just going in there by themselves with no damage. This is
this is just a clinic on how to run this composition from Team Ishtar, though they are retreating on back there if the respawns have come through, and Voperdo not quite back on the map yet, so I think a judicious play to slow roll a little bit. You've got the 5,000 gold lead, no reason to push it too terribly hard. Get some of that vision control, and then look to scrap around the Baron once you have those ults back off cooldown.
Bold of them to start the Baron without their jungler, but you know they are ahead. They thought it was a good call, but. It looks like one of them in Team Ishtar has communicated saying, "Hey, let's not do the Baron without our jungler."
Yeah, probably not a great idea, all things considered, but wisely aborted there on the attempt. And we go back and get some of those items. Ashe already 2.5 items on board, matched fairly even by Adararde's Caitlyn, but this is just a matter of having the other members of your team so far ahead. I mean, like, look at Tiger top lane, nearly 3 items completed there on that tank. It's an almost unbreakable front line. And contrasted by definitely Rin's Gangplank, who is definitely not having that strong of a performance this game.
He was doing good early game, but again, as you can see that Ornn undefeated. The master of the top lane here at BTL.
Stop picking things that Ornn is good against. And Ornn will not be as strong. There are definitely options to deal with the Ornn, and I feel like Gangplank is the uninteractive choice, but it was very well punished there. Potential stealing the Baron. Want to fly high, trying to go on in there. Doesn't have the vision, can't quite land the steal, but that's one kill. Maybe looking for a second. Want to fly high. Obliterated by Voperdo. There's the ultimate from the Caitlyn landing on in. Can't quite find that damage to pop up onto you. Ready. He is going to take that kill. Slow into the Caitlyn and a great Asher, but the root kill there, kiting on back. A build over Pacemaker. Not quite enough to take that kill. Adararde will fall. Tycoon trying to make it on the front line, but still a 3-4-2. Yes, they peel the Baron off the bot lane, but still the Baron given on over there, and there's going to be some major push priority for those top, committee members at the top side of the map.
Oh yeah, I'm on. I smack people with hammer. That's it. That's all he does. He doesn't even
Hammers plural, thank you. One hammer is Poppy.
Facts.
Hey, there you go.
You got
also,
me there. You know.
Also, Jace, I suppose, though his hammer is also a gun.
It's just because Jace couldn't decide.
Yeah, dude.
He was like, you know what?
I
can do better.
AD carry, yeah, exactly.
Oh.
This is going to date me terribly, but I remember when Jace was released and people were up in arms with how he does way too many things as a champion. He's like Italy, but all his.
I remember that too. I remember how they were like saying, "How you gonna give him ulti at level 1? What the heck?" I'm like,
yeah.
Then came Elise. Then Yasuo got released, and they're like saying
Yasuo.
When Yasuo got first released, and people were like, "This champion's too complicated."
Oh, nice touch from Adarade there, but since your support might not even care as the set comes on through. A little bit premature on the cleanse there, but will get him on out to safety. Mid tower is still a casualty though.
Bold of you to assume that I was gonna stun you.
Oh yeah, exactly. This don't classic. But
instead of pulling out the space breaker, just scaring the kid. Like, ooh.
So I thought that it was the Gangplank of the 4-1 composition, but Tygoon is making it look like Team Ishtar has instead drafted for that style of gameplay as they are taking over the map with this Baron empowered push.
Yeah.
It feels like at this point of the game, and especially with how far behind the Gangplank is.
And it looks like they're going to 1-1-3. Yeah, they're just going 1-1-3. One top, one mid, 1-2-3 bot.
I mean, we see the Ashe rotating on down here, but I mean, this top lane tower is getting chunked down slowly but surely by the Baron empowered cannon creep, and that's a third of its health in a single minion wave. It's not bad at all, and a very cheeky death brush.
Yeah, very bold of the Caitlyn being by herself mid lane, not the set, not the Rex side, but the Caitlyn. I mean, but the Ashe just being in the middle.
She had her ultimate. That's enough to dissuade one person trying to get on her and do damage. She's also got 3 full items, which is a pretty hefty amount of power. And
that is
with
true.
all the members of Shurima now stuck in base, an easy Mountain Soul coming on through here, 3 full stacks on that. How do you even chew through a team with so many defensive stats? This is a very difficult proposition. Seer support with like 3,000 health. No big deal.
Oh man!
Gracious! Look at those life bars. That's insane.
Who thought of the first person like, you know what, that support's pretty broken? I wonder.
I don't know. I don't even know it's like if it's so incredibly strong. It just feels like a lot of the stuff from Ishtar this game was not properly answered for by the members of. Oh gosh, look at that Victor damage on the Victor. That's half his health from just a Syndra Q. It's push is at least stymied for the time being. Gangplank with 2 items is enough. With if he crits those barrels, he's able to just obliterate that wave.
Whoa.
Caitlyn trap set up there. Tycoon goes into the back line. They're looking for this. Shield can be ready, but the mid lane tower will stand with just a sliver on left there. Tygoon forced towards top lane. The ult lands onto the Syndra. Follow-up damage is there. Ethan obliterated by a barrel combo from the Gangplank. And this may be a huge thorn in the momentum that we've seen so far from Team Ishtar. Tygoon out of position as well. You're ready as well as JC is here. Gargoyles pop. That'll only buy him an extra second, but the flash comes on through. Want to fly high, trying to get that slow. Winner's bite will land from the problem. The shutdown goes the way of JC.
Team Ishtar getting impatient. This is the first time I've seen them impatient during this whole game. They could have played it slow. They didn't have to rush it. They didn't have to do anything. Just wait. Just whittle down the middle turrets. Get the inhib. You didn't have to fight in their base.
Even if we saw more focus on that mid tower, like if you breach that inhibitor line, that's so much more power that you have access to. But they let it just go anyway. Okay, sure, why not?
But hey, this is a momentum boost, a little momentum boost for CA Shurima. They're saying they maybe one of them has figured out. Oh, Team Ishtar is getting impatient. Let's just slow this game down. If we mistakes, but
yeah, I mean, again, like scaling is very strong on the side of Shurima here. I mean, Gangplank getting more items can only be a good thing. Victor now has that completed death cap and is doing a lot of damage, as well as Caitlyn, who's hit 3.5 items, as well as the last Whisper for the bonus armor benders. I mean, Adarade has been having a very good game so far. It's just the rest of his team has been having some problems across the map, especially the Gangplank and Wanna Fly High Sejuani, who has been landing some good ults, but has just been paling in comparison to the pace set by Voperdo's Rek'Sai.
Yeah, it looks like Team Ishtar is gonna get ready for this Baron, or just catch someone out from Team Shurima. But again, they have to be patient. I understand that they want to win this game badly, but the more that you get impatient, it's gonna be more mental for you. And like I said, they have a Mountain Drake. They have a Mountain Drake. They can take down this
You're ready has made a mistake and will be forced to flash over the wall on out to safety, trying to clear some of that vision around the now respawned Baron. Gangplank stuck in the side lane, dealing with the absolute unit that is Tygoon's Ornn here, and they start the Baron, take a couple shots for it, try to lure the Rek'Sai in. Some of those slows there, try to engage on that fight, but Tygoon doesn't care, man. That was half
Jesus, what?
At that damage, that's absolutely nuts. I mean, that is the empowered Sunfire cape burn going on too, right?
Oh my god.
So that certainly does add in as a factor as well. Baron down to about 60% now.
He just
that objective once again.
Look, he just doesn't care.
Man, this is really good from Tygoon on the Ornn. He's continuing to pressure up in this top lane. He has a ton of health regeneration. There's no reason for them not to play this this taffy style of gameplay. We've got that 4-1 split, right? You force the enemy team to make a move on you in terms. Like, yeah, Victor can shoot lasers over the wall all he wants, but that's not the point of this, right? Like, you want to keep the Gangplank stranded by himself in that bottom lane while you continue to pressure at the Baron. Set up a death brush here. I don't think you want to take this recall, even if you're Syndra.
It's just like you just saw how like the turret just didn't do anything to him. It's just it just grazed him, just tickled him.
Now
and he just didn't care.
Now, something that is worth mentioning as we get a little bit further in here, Elder Dragon is in a minute, right? And you would think that Elder Dragon would be in favor of the team who has the soul, but it's really kind of a 50-50 setup that you don't want to chance unless you can absolutely help it, right? And if it does come into a situation where Wanna Fly High is in position to contest and the rest of his team is alive, that's not the kind of odds that you want to take at that dragon if you're Team Ishtar. Losing that objective is a great way to completely throw a lead.
And you gotta understand, you gotta see here that Sejuani is level 14. Ornn is level 18, and Rek'Sai is level 16. Sejuani is severely under level. I understand you can't do anything. You can't do anything. It's just like
I mean, I would feel like that smite difference would be a pretty big deal in professional play, but I don't think the margins are quick enough for that to be a big deal. But here's the catch out coming in onto Wanna Fly High, tries to find that back line, gets the ult onto Ashe, but there's absolutely no follow-up as Wanna Fly High dunked back into the rest of his team. The chase coming on through here, definitely a random will ball. Sincere Support looking as well, still on the set, exhausted, but kited out. The ult lands onto You Ready. The stun lands onto Tygoon as well, but the chase through is their stun coming through from the Syndra. The Ashe damage is enormous as Frostbite flashes forward and cleans up the double for the ace. 5-for-1, only Sincere Support giving his life. The reinforcing wave is here mid, and this is likely to be the end of our first game tonight.
Man, Ornn took like 10 tower shots. Team Ishtar could have done whatever they wanted. Ornn could have just been sitting there, just eating a snack, having a picnic, watching TV on Netflix, and their team would be like doing all the hard work while Ornn is just sitting there, just like y'all doing something. Y'all heard something?
Yeah, just got his bag of Frito-Lay in front of him, on his stomach in front of the TV. Pop a recliner up under that tower. It's all good.
But first win going down for Team Ishtar. Look at that! Look at that damage from that Ornn. Close to ashes. Oh my god!
I mean, Tygoon was an absolute unit that match, and it speaks to me of the fact that you go for the Gangplank counter pick, and definitely Rin just did not have much of an effect on that game.
Yeah.
Either I pick something that's not interactive and then wins the game by itself, or I pick something that can dump on Ornn in lane. And I'm very surprised that we did not see more focus on that. I don't see a Mordekaiser ban. I'm shocked that we didn't see that pick top lane, because that's one of the picks that is historically very, very good against Ornn, can absolutely handle him in the side lane, and it also gets rid of problem threats in team fights. So that's something that I've seen as kind of an emergent counter pick if you want to handle the Ornn in an honest match up top. But option for the Gangplank just simply did not have the impact it needed. But
it's crazy. It's crazy too, because like we're gonna have to see what team Shurima is gonna do against this just tanky top lanes. Because like I said, BTL is just known for their tank top lanes. Whether it's Ornn, whether it's Shen, whether it's Sion, it does or Maokai. Maokai's been played a lot in BTL, and I rarely see Maokai nowadays.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you gonna do with the tank?
Mm-hmm. You gotta figure out how to punish those picks. That's the big thing. Is that if you can figure out a top lane setup that can reliably do. I have to see if what kind of drafts you see in our next match here, in the set. I think a big thing is going to be, will see a Shurima opt for another strategy to counter the Ornn? Will they pick it themselves? What's the verdict there? We'll have to see. We're back in just a few more minutes for a second game of the night.
Oh. Ready spaghetti. All right, and we're back.
Straight away. Welcome back to our second game of the night in this best of 5 semifinals match for Black Twitch League. I'm Gaspump, joined by Apple Jackson.
How's it going?
Already getting started with this pick and ban. Wukong, Trundle, Olaf, and Yumi, the casualties so far. Very interesting. The Fiora going down as well. This hard telegraphs a first pick Ornn for Shurima.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It might be a first pick Ornn, or they're just gonna let Ishtar have Ornn again. Again, just banning out the Trundle. One of Ornn's counter. They're pretty cocky, you know. Pretty.
I mean, it feels like, especially the Trundle, Fiora, and Wukong. These are all matchups that Ornn is not a huge fan of, and like it feels so obvious. And they ban out the Ornn. Yeah, that was supposed to be an Ornn.
Oh. Yeah, that's an Ornn ban.
Yeah, we saw that flash up.
Team Ishtar banning out their own Ornn, which is pretty smart. First pick Ornn at CA Shurima, and they just knew.
Well, I mean, if you're blue side and Ornn is available, it's actually your pick coming through into this draft. So Caitlyn, again, the choice for Shurima here. I think a very strong early pickable AD carry, matched by Senna. I wouldn't be surprised. Tahm Kench, perfect.
Yep, there it is.
One of the strongest 2v2 bot lanes in the game right now is the Senna Tahm Kench, the safety of the Tahm Kench. You also get the bonus stats because of the fasting Senna. Gives you so much bonus gold to build into defensive stats in the early parts of the game that you essentially have an extra jungler in terms of gold economy with the Tahm Kench. It's crazy.
Now, Gaspump, can you explain to me what is fasting Senna?
So fasting Senna is a strategy that uses essentially Senna plays AD carry and support because the actual gold value of the souls that Senna picks up from minions or allies have slain is like numerically nearly as efficient as getting the gold herself. So you essentially go with you pick up like it's the AD support item, and you give Tahm Kench all the minions and lanes so that he ends up having the same approximate gold economy as a jungler, and you just get the passive golden stats coming through from picking up those souls as the Senna. And it's a strategy where you have rather than having an AD carry, traditionally the case, you have approximately 3 people in your team who have jungler levels of gold economy.
Yeah, I actually figured this out literally yesterday about fasting Senna because I was in the normal games with friends. We had a fasting Senna in the bot lane with the Vel'Koz as the support, and that Vel'Koz just shredded.
It's pretty good. Like Senna does enough reliable damage and tends to go with like a more lethality-oriented build from that position. That's kind of a lower econ build, like you might see on like a very aggressively minded Lee Sin, like that kind of mentality. And then Tahm Kench service at the front line. It's more the idea that you redistribute the gold income on your team so that you have more effective members, and it's a strong strategy for sure. And it also provides a ton of safety for the Senna in the bottom that Tahm Kench consume.
And during that whole thing, they actually banned the Rek'Sai, so Roberto is not gonna have Rek'Sai in this matchup. It feels like Roberto only uses earlier junglers, which they're banning out anyway.
Interesting.
Malphite pick up.
I don't hate this when you have the Senna and the J4, but if you get some more magic damage on this team, things could be tough for the Malphite. If I were Ishtar, looking at this composition, my gut reaction says if you can play Mordekaiser, lock that in. It is insanely good against the Malphite as an AP threat. You can deal with the Caitlyn in these fights.
Zillion villain.
I like that.
Yeah.
That is a very good show. Like the Zillion mid lane is going to.
They heard you. They heard you.
Turn your stream audio off, boys. That's cheating.
They heard you. I was like, there's no way they're gonna pick up.
I wanna put it this way. This is such a better draft for the side of both teams have drafted better than in game number 1, right? I like this a lot. Both of these teams are super strong, and they are looking to do some of the same things put in a different fashion. I love the engage coming through from Shurima. Nautilus, Malphite, the Elise Cocoon for pickoffs, nuts. You get the follow-up of that Zillion double bomb coming through on a priority target. They're gonna get crushed. Meanwhile, on the side of Team Ishtar, we're looking for a much more standard kind of, I wouldn't say front-to-back team fight, but they're looking for a very standard 5v5 comp, but they also have the added advantage of J4 putting someone in the Cataclysm and Tom Kench saving targets that do get engaged on, but Mordekaiser is kind of the X factor for this comp, right? We saw Tygoon pop off hard in game number 1, and if he has that same kind of matchup against definitely Rin in game number 2, it would be devastating. And Mordekaiser is exactly the kind of champion to do that, and we'll have to see if Wanna Fly High's Elise is going to be paying attention in that top lane and, really able to try to tilt that matchup and put the Mordekaiser down in the early parts of the game.
And especially Team Ishtar, even though they don't, it doesn't seem like they have anything for a team fight potential. Mordekaiser being there, just zoning out the Caitlyn, taking them out, or even having Malphite out of the fight. Having Malphite out of the fight, bust him down, and then they have no tank.
How about just taking Zillion off the map pre-ultimate usage, right?
Exactly.
Like Zillion gets ripped into the Shadow Realm, and he's got to make I've got to ult myself or deal with Mordekaiser for like 8 seconds in the Rumble ring, while the rest of our team goes at it 4 versus 4. And I mean, yes, Caitlyn, Nautilus, Elise, and Malphite are strong champions, but the damage rated from J-Force under Tom Kench and Senna is just higher.
See, look, I like Shurima. I like them as a team. They're a great team. But Team Ishtar, if literally the Mordekaiser gets fed, they're going to be beaten down to the ground, and they're not going to let them up. Literally not let them up.
I think that's a big thing here, is that while both of these teams are strong, I feel like there are a couple of significant potential points of failure for CA Shurima, right? And I think that the one you have to look at is definitely Rin top lane. He had a rough game in game number 1 against Tycoon's Ornn, and this is once again a very difficult match for the Malphite to handle. It's going to be a matter of surviving lane rather than thriving in lane for this Malphite, and if Tygoon is allowed to bully this Malphite around, pull out ahead like he did in the last match, this is going to be yet another show from the top lane. So I think that it's worth mentioning, Shurima's team is much better positioned in this draft to be effective. But again, there are a couple of question marks that I really do want to see if they have addressed, or if definitely Rin is a stronger Malphite than he was a Gangplank. All things that remain to be seen.
Again, like I said, no, we're not going to say that Team Ishtar is going to steamroll them or anything.
No.
It's a possible chance. See, Shurima can actually even bring it back. If Tygoon plays pretty poorly in the top lane, or if Roberto gets caught out too much, or even if this, again, what happened in mid lane where Syndrome gets behind and the Zillion gets ahead, it can literally be a different story. But it's just, if people are depending on just what happened last game, it just seemed like.
Right. I think the biggest thing is going to be specifically putting a kind of a laser focus on that top lane matchup, right? Because I really feel the biggest thing that contributed to the difficulties that we saw from Shurima last game was the fact that Tygoon abused definitely Rin in that 1 versus 1 match. I mean, Volperdo came top, did have an impact there, but Gangplank just did not have an opportunity to flex any of the champion's strengths there. And I just feel like with the way the last game played out, and the way that Tygoon played that last game as Ornn, we may be in danger of seeing a repeat on that front.
And again, it's just this whole time, it just seems like Ishtar right now, it has the bigger momentum, it has a bigger mentality right here. Hopefully that last game didn't crush, the mentality of CA Shurima down too badly to the point where they're going to make misplays. But again, depending on what happens in game 2, the next game is going to be hard for one of these teams.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, and you look at best of 5 series, and it is such a different, despite only being ostensibly 2 more games, there is such a difference in mentality that is required for these teams, right? Because again, when you have a best of 5 series, momentum plays such a huge factor. You've seen it watching LCS play a number of times where a team can take 2 games, lose very badly in number 3, and that'll be all the momentum needed for a team to complete the reverse sweep. But at the same time, 3-0 is also a crushing possibility, right?
Oh,
And you have to look at, really good players being able to reset their mental after the loss, say, okay, last game stunk, didn't go great. It's fine. It's just game number 1 of a series. We're completely fine still. Just got to lace it up, come back in for game number 2 with a fresh mindset. And this draft tells me, fair is fair. Draft tells me from CA Shurima they are looking at a different approach for game number 2, right?
Yeah.
And I love seeing teams that are like that look to adapt after the way that the first game went. But it also looks like Ishtar knows exactly how they wanted to handle this composition, right? It feels like both teams got the champions they wanted.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen from Team Ishtar, that could end up being a major advantage for them with their skill as a team.
Another thing is, like, throughout the last game, everybody has a new champion except for Syndra and Caitlyn. I feel like the Syndra and Caitlyn are going to be their comfort pick for each team. But, we're going to see how it plays out. We're going to see if maybe they have to switch up to Syndra, or maybe they're going to have to switch up to Caitlyn.
Yeah, 100% on that one, but as we take that for the last seconds of spectator delay, we will be right back in game with more great action for you here on the Black Twitch League Twitch.tv channel. Good evening, welcome back, everyone. We're here for a second game of this series between Shurima and Team Ishtar. As of course, joined by Applejacks as both teams head on off the fountain. We talked about this in game number 1, Applejacks, but some questions that do need to be answered by the side of Shurima here if they want to tie this one up 1-1 and give us a really competitive series. Top lane, certainly something to look out for. Other things to look out for, this 5-man stack in the bot lane looking for this Senna. He's not leading the way. Is going to spot that Senna out. There's the hook going completely wide. What a miss for you, Ready. Oh, womp womp. I feel like quite frankly, in that specific position against the Senna, it's better to not flash and just don't even try for the 1-for-1.
Yeah.
She's got flash, she's got barrier. Probably the best case there is you take her flash and then aggress in the bot lane and, force the Tahm Kench to use those very long cooldowns defensively. But with your flash traded for the Senna's flash, it's going to be a real rough lane to handle.
Hell yeah. And the thing is, I feel like what you said. I feel like the flash wasn't necessary. I feel like even then it would have just
Supremely confident there.
yeah. But hey, kudos to them. They it looks like their mentality hasn't wavered so far. They were confident enough to grab the hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, you generally do want to take that hook early as Nautilus for the potential power there, and uh, that being said, like you got to have the execution. So that was a big opportunity that I think that Shurima's going to be kicking themselves for missing. Let's see a little bit further into this game again. Like the Senna having the flash up compared to the Nautilus, who does not, is just gosh, that is a rough place to be.
But it's just gonna seem like it's gonna be a CS game down here in the bot lane.
Yeah. For sure on that one, Apple Jackson. I mean, across the map, trading pretty cleanly here. Tygoon pushing in the Malphite. Not exactly a huge surprise. Malphite not world renowned for his safe wave clear.
Yeah.
So this game, similar to the last one that we had a little bit of a slow start, just kind of doing that classic shove up situation though. J4 going to be finding the Elise. Going so far, Flag and Drag lands. Wanna High getting some good damage here onto Voperdo. Does have that red buff. Repel may be available. Voperdo dropped very, very low.
Conquer
coming through here. Conquer has activated. The Elise finds that damage. Flashes on out to safety, but Syndra's found JC, who flashes over the wall, looking for those orbs. Both will survive. Mordekaiser is up here. Does land the stun. Spider not gonna find its target. No kills going on through. Bloodless, but only barely.
Hey, that was pretty good on both teams. Escaping, fighting, that whole thing was perfectly executed for each team.
I feel like if you have a bit better focus, if you land some more damage there, you actually do pick up Voperdo on the J4, but still certainly better for this squad from Shurima to not end up giving anything up in your own jungle and at least forcing them back there. No additional summoners burned past the flashes for both of those junglers, though Tygoon actually did blow his flash trying to get into that fight. Couldn't land anything. That's a major cooldown that maybe High can exploit here before the Mordekaiser's level 6 mark.
And you gotta understand, during that fight, Conqueror procced for J4 while finding the Elise, but Elise was putting up a pretty damn good fight.
I mean, Elise is a lot of early damage. One of the very strong early game duelists, so I think that's very wise of High to not try pushing his luck there before the rest of the team collapses. So, pretty good play overall there. Though, if you look at the lanes here, once again, Tygoon crushing it, definitely Rin CS.
Oh yeah, a clear 16 CS. It's just it's. Oof.
Come on, man. That's just mean.
Yeah, man.
Goodness gracious. Oh, but Elise lands the stun mid lane, looking for Ethan here, who has taken the cleanse this time.
No, man, that's all.
Very smart choice in the Syndra. That one of the problems that we encountered last game was taking the Ignite into the Victor Sejuani and just getting chain ganked, which is one of the ways that JC very much got ahead first game. But different story here in match number 2 as the hook lands onto the Tahm Kench, getting some good damage on down there. Sincere support dropped fairly low. We'll heal up with the gray health a little bit there, but a nice hook and you're ready. Definitely buy some pressure in this lane.
Fast and Santa is just working out.
Elise is here. Oh man, that hook just narrowly going wide on the Tahm Kench. I think that if that does land, or if the flash is available for that one, you get a clean pickup on the Tahm Kench. Like the Ignite's still up, you have the Elise burst as well, and even though Sincere support does have the flash and the heal, that is a lot of potential punishment coming through.
For sure. And again, here's just bullying them.
It's brutal. Now the CS difference has narrowed a little bit. Definitely Ren was able to pick up some of those minions under the tower, but the big thing is that gank from the Elise will buy a first Earth Dragon for this team. Pressure very much rewarded there in the bot side of the map, and as it is fairly early into this game, Rift Herald not available to trade.
And that's gonna help. It's gonna help Team Series Shurima with turrets. Getting that Caitlyn having that Caitlyn get the early turret plating might help them get ahead in the bottom again.
Right. Well, it's worth mentioning that the Earth Dragon is changes have come through, so that's going to be more of an asset for staying alive in the lanes rather than pushing the push advantage, as it were. Oh, goodness gracious. Definitely Rin taking a ton of damage there. Needing a tower shot or two, though, but the Malphite, very low in terms of health. Oh, Volperdo is here. They're looking for the dive attempt. They do cancel the recall. Reinforcing wave is arriving. This is a worst-case scenario for the Malphite. Teleport is channeled, and both members will back off. JC forced to burn the summoner spell to save his top laner.
Smart thinking coming from say Shurima. Just wait, knowing that the Malphite was gonna get ganked, decided to just get up there just to save him. And even though it was a cost of his teleport for the Zillion, still for the top lane and doesn't put Rin too behind from it.
It's also worth mentioning Mordekaiser able to go back to the base with 60 minions on board. Opts for kind of a smorgasbord of items rather than for any specific component piece, going for the Blasting Wand as well as the Boots No Magic Mantle. I believe that is enough money to go for the Haunting Guise, but opts instead for the more balanced suite of stats. Wanna Fly High is here. Definitely Rin uses the ultimate, gets the pop up into Volperdo, but the focus isn't there. The Elise Repel is enough to take that first blood kill. JC pulled into the Shadow Realm. No ultimate available from the Zillion. Will drop him lower and lower. Takes that kill. Not available, but the life coming through from Tygoon gets the shield up, but Syndra not likely to be enough to save that top laner. Flashes on. Flash for flash, tries to get this lifesteal on through Wanna Fly High, re-engaging and taking the kill. A nice 2-for-1 in favor of the side of Shurima.
And we just saw how just the potential of the 1v1s coming from the Mordekaiser, even after fighting the Zillion, still withholding himself from two people. Two.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big thing to look at here is, specifically in this situation, Tygoon opted to chase after the Elise and try to secure that kill, rather than looking to continue wailing on that Malphite, right? And you get so much lifesteal from the Conqueror that maybe that was the right call, and maybe the greed ended up really costing Tygoon there, but regardless, still trading very little with this Malphite.
The amount of damage coming from this Mordekaiser, sometimes it just seems unfair, even if you're a tank.
I very frequently think that Mordekaiser is unfair. Thank you very much.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, he's just so tough to play against in these melee matchups, especially with the Conqueror Master. It's so much healing, so much effective HP. But I think something to really look at there in that last fight was the very effective catch out of Volperdo. Right, the J4 getting kind of mulched without reply, didn't have access to the Cataclysm to, wall off or even get some extra damage in, and the stun chain was very good. Amply rewarded for sure. Tygoon gonna get stunned here. Zillion coming on up, has that speed teleport channeled from the Malphite, but completely misses Tygoon. Wow, what a great claw on back, but the unstoppable force just off cooldown is definitely not Rin. Going to be laying the slap onto Tygoon. You're ready in the bot lane, looking for this fight as well. The re-engage comes through. Wanna Fly High is that's really only equipped. Volperdo gets some of that healing. Be forced to flash. Ethan trying to ward off the Maokai is going to get stunned, and what a huge save onto the jungle.
That was very well played with both Shurima and Ishtar just wanting to you can just tell they want to win this game. They're thinking 3 steps ahead of everybody.
Right.
This is amazing.
It is. It's again, like, Shurima does look like a revitalized team coming into this game, and I think a factor that Ishtar needs to be looking at is, okay, well, you've picked the Mordekaiser, but you need to respect the fact that Mordekaiser's job in this match isn't to try to come and aid these fights right now. It's to continue pushing it his advantage 1 versus 1 top. Like, get that vision control, continually smack down Rin, keep Rin from really being able to do anything that he wants on this Malphite. And, like, Tygoon has died twice trying to rotate in for these fights, and that's cost him a lot in terms of this 1 versus 1 match up top. Yes, still 30 CSF, which is awesome, and is able to get the Infernal Dragon for themselves, evening up that dragon score. But you really do want to be pushing your advantages on this, on the
Mordekaiser,
rather than trying to come down to roam for no good reason. Tygoon is going to pull Elise into the Shadow Realm, the charge out from the Rift Herald, finishing off the repel. One more hit is enough to get that shutdown. That's a huge pickup as Tygoon looking to run on out there, but definitely Ren does have the inside track, still trading 1 for 1 in a 1 versus 3. Not bad at all for Tygoon's Mord.
Again, like what you said, it's understanding that the Mordekaiser wants to go out there and just try to get kills and help his teammates. But in this situation right now, Mordekaiser is more of a farmer. The more you farm, the stronger you get. I understand that helping and everything is gonna get you ahead too, but like at what risk?
Right, exactly. Your job as as the Mordekaiser here is not to try to play like you are a roam threat. That's not your job. You put on your straw hat and grab your cane and do your Nasus farming impression. Like once the game is 20 or 25 minutes in, well, then you can look at, you know, making your way across the map or lane swapping or what have you. But at this point of the game, Mordekaiser needs to farm up. You need to get your Liandry's Torment, preferably a second item on top of that, maybe the Morello or the Rylai's, depending on who you're looking to lane against. So, but you can't be doing this roam thing. Like, yes, you got the kill, but you missed out on a ton of farm. You want to continue forcing these advantages that you have, and it shows kind of a lack of understanding of what the Mordekaiser is supposed to do in this matchup.
Like, we get it. It's a team game. We understand that you're trying to help your teammates and everything, but at the same time, you kind of chose a champion that can't really do that.
Yeah.
You chose a champion that you want to win solo, win against fights against yourself.
Yeah. Like look at that. I mean, Malphite was down so far, but now has an experienced lead. And Tygoon is not winning these trades as cleanly as he was before. If he had just stuck to farming, that's a completed Liandry's Torment, and the Malphite has no chance.
Yeah, even then with just how are you doing in the top lane, it's you got the 2 kills, but look what you are now. You can't even fight your own top laner anymore.
Exactly. I mean, well, I don't think he's out of this one yet. Like once Liandry's Torment comes online, this gets a lot better for the Mordekaiser, and he's also got the healing advantage. But like, definitely Rin is not getting bullied nearly as hard as he was previously. Coming from Tygoon, he's healing a lot. Look at that damage. Shield going up, looking to kite it out. The Obliterate is through. Flash available for both of these top laners, and definitely Rin forced to ult defensively. Tygoon smartly opting not to follow.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I guess maybe because I'm like a dirty gold player. My mentality was just, oh, he has no shield, maybe I can fight. But but it's better to have that safe opt of just like running away. There's nothing to lose.
I want to fly high here, looking for the Syndra. Let's get that slow, forces the flash on out. Nicely done. Definitely Rin could be in trouble. Some good damage though onto Tygoon, who's still closing on that level 10 mark, though just reaching that experience breakpoint. And with the extra gold picked up, getting Liandry's Torment is going to be, really a big factor in securing these kills against definitely Rin if those fights continue to happen the same way.
And if you just noticed before the camera shifted, Zillion threw a bomb on his own minion, and reactively the Syndra picked up the minion, and the bomb exploded on top of Syndra.
Tragic. Going to engage going to the bot lane again. You ready? It's going to get stunned, stacking up that damage onto the Tahm Kench. Nice Senna ultimate there, looking to continue this play. Is going to eat you ready on up. No other members of this team to follow. Adorard has got some good damage with the shield going up onto Sincere Support. Will wear off the dredge line, coming up just short.
That was a weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a weird fight. None of them decided to die.
Well, it's the difficulty of dealing with the Tahm Kench, who's got effectively 2 full life bars in a fight like that, right?
And you also have a center that can just heal up the Tahm Kench.
Exactly. That's a lot of healing for the center. Oh, a nice street landing onto Adorard. They do get the stun or the hook onto Tahm Kench. Life bar is still very low, and you're already completely out of mana. So you have to where that play off as Mordekaiser now takes that top lane tower, the Liandry's Torment. Definitely a difficult thing to deal with is that Malphite. Once again misses the cocoon there. Is Mordekaiser gets some great damage onto that top lane tower. Wow.
it seemed like in the fight in bot lane, they just didn't know who to focus on. They can't like while the AD carries were fighting the other AD carry, the supports were fighting the supports.
Well, I'm not sure if you can call Tom Kencher support when he's got 143 CS.
That's true. Let me repeat that. Tank versus tank, and AD carry versus AD carry.
Also worth mentioning that I believe Tom Kench actually had a Knight's Vow at that point. So, I mean, healing up for the damage that Senna is doing, as well as preventing her from taking a lot of punishment, that's just a tough situation to be in as the Caitlyn and the Nautilus. I mean, yes, Nautilus is Knight's Vow as well, but there's a difference in overall damage being dealt, and it is certainly not in favor of the Caitlyn not.
And we can see here that the Jarvan's actually 20 CS up. Oh, never mind, about to be 30 CS up against the Elise. Granted, the Elise does have 2 kills, but you know the farm game is just different.
Right. I mean, speaking of the farm game, top lane still with a 30 CS lead as well. Mordekaiser also certainly going to be opting for that Rylai's second item to really aid against the Malphite, pardon. So, Wanna High is here, essentially looking for the engage against one of these two. Them push on up here. They do land the Elise binding. That's so much damage onto the Tom Kench. Was the Elise repel there, though, but is putting the Hourglass down, looking to kite this one out there. Should Seer support falls. Tygoon arrives as well. Going to be pulling Caitlyn into the Shadow Realm. Ethan absolutely obliterates the Elise. Adorade looking to kite this one out as Tygoon gets in his face. One more obliterate enough. The Sentinel ultimate going just wide. Tygoon needs the 3-man. Oh, what a huge follow-up. Getting the shield, getting the damage. But wow, that punishment is absolutely huge. JC with a clutch ultimate onto definitely Rin to save that top laner's life. It's a 2-4-2 so far. The fight continues. They're looking for this pressure under the tower. Frosty Bites eats that tower shot. Ethan looking to take the ult there, but deadly Rin, definitely Rin looking to go on in there. The bomb from the Zillion, not nearly enough to take care of that Syndra, but the life bars at an absolute sliver. Frostbite and Ethan still both fairly low. Nice stun onto 2 there, and looks like that will finally be the end of the fight.
That's some good team fighting coming from both teams. And can I just give a shout out to the Caitlyn literally surviving in the Mord's ulti, kiting his life away. Like there was no tomorrow. Literally felt like if he died in the Mord ulti, he would die in real life.
Just brilliant play from Adorade's Caitlyn there, managing to kite it out, surviving with a sliver of life, and not eating the Zillion ult, which is so important there because it was instrumental in saving definitely Rin's life. Tygoon goes down there, not quite enough sauce to chew through 3 full life bars, and it's going to be a major pickup there. You know, 2v2, especially, see the play started by Wanna High, who does end up going down there, but it looked like it was a pretty much Team Ishtar, but they were able to come back in, take 2 of those kills, and preserve their approximately 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and it was a great fight, especially for the
Fly High. Mordekaiser ultimate comes on through here. Voperdo here as well. Adorade in trouble. Cataclysm is in. Caitlyn is going to take that ult. JC looking for the back line there. Caitlyn trap is in. Adorade definitely in peril. The Zillion bomb's not landing for the stun. The CC chain. Oh, and a nice ult from the Syndra will clean that up for the killing spree. A great Tygoon showing the power of that Mordekaiser.
You can see the outplay that Syndra did by just pressing that R.
the classic Syndra mechanical. It's like right in the rivet, right in the middle of your Yasuo Riven montage. Is just Syndra pressing R like twice.
Yeah. You just pay someone to do. You just pay someone for like a Call of Duty montage of like 360 snipe of those kills.
Poor Zillion just got like the Barrett 50 cal zoom in and the hit marker when the Syndra ult landed.
It's just some like 2008 dubstep.
Oh man, Skrillex blasting during the montage. Oh lord.
Oh yeah. Drop the bass, and then you just see the Syndra arch
like a 6-orb Syndra, like an Earth Syndra ult.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see how it is. Well, Elise is going to be able to drop this reveal down bottom though, which will certainly help clean that up. Nice gold in Wanna High's pocket, but we're looking at a game where, unlike the last match, definitely Rin is having a very good game. 1-0-4 in the Malphite. Down in CS, yes, but that's to be expected in a matchup where you're up against a Mordekaiser. He's been playing this one well. The problem has come through that the farm has just not been sufficient. You are looking at 40 plus CS leads in multiple lanes. That is absolutely astounding. And a huge amount of gold the way of Team Ishtar. So, I mean, certainly the numbers. Oh, Syndra eats the hook there. The flash ult coming through from the Malphite, immediately clapping. Huge shutdown as the teleport is channeled down through, looking for the Mordekaiser, who's going to get brought into the team, pops that ultimate, but already down to a sliver. Already trying to kite this out, but doesn't have the ultimate from... Really huge. They're looking to turn this fight, definitely written in peril, but JC dragged back into the waiting arms of Tycoon. Now looking to focus in on definitely Ridden, who will fall for the first time this game. JC trying to find a way out, but it's not enough. A 4-for-1 coming through for Team Ishtar, and they want more.
Wow, that was
oh my god. Senna!
America's
Frostbite. That was such a skill shot to land. Wonderful High simply couldn't have seen it coming. Right, and what a great play from Team Ishtar. It looked, I mean, they were certainly ahead before that, but that was really the icing on the cake to cement the fact that they are well and truly in the lead here, and they are putting on now a dominant performance.
It's also the fact that, like, again, a great Mordekaiser ulti coming from him, because while yes, last time Caleb to kite the whole thing, you gotta remember he had a turret with him.
Yeah.
This time he only had a corner, and he
not so lucky.
Yeah, he couldn't get. He could, and it was a closed space too. He could have really run that much. So it was
not a lot of kiting. There was not a lot of kiting to do in the first place, and the fact that Mordekaiser just insane, absolutely obliterating the Caitlyn there. And I mean, Adararde's had a good game and very wisely opting to pay the QSS tax against this Mordekaiser.
No.
The thing that's so shocking about that too is not only did Ishtar win that fight convincingly, they did it completely sans Ethan's Syndra, right? The very start of that fight was an extremely convincing pickup on Ethan. Like, yes, they did Blizzmole, who's want to fly high, now in trouble, looking to repel on out, sincere support, trying to escape as well. Ultimate ult for the Malphite, trying to get on as many people as possible. There's a Cataclysm coming on through. Look at this Wombo cage setup. You ready? Already in trouble. Tycoon on a rampage, now falling as that's J4 into the backline, picking up Adararde. Rin forced to flash. JC in peril, absolutely, as Tycoon pulling him into the death realm. Nice fancy feat from the Zillion as Tycoon tries to kite this one out. He is going to be eating the bomb, finds that damage as the resurrection coming on through here. Frostbite looking to time it out. The CC chain, and Tycoon goes unstoppable.
Again, fighting in the close space with a Mordekaiser there, not the right idea.
Yeah. Remember when I said that Mordekaiser was kind of the silver bullet against these tank compositions? I think that Tycoon may have figured this one out as well, as despite having some rocky points in the mid game, you know, trying to fight a little bit too hard, we should have been forcing the advantage top lane. But I mean, look at this outcome. 25 minutes, 8,000 gold on up here. Definitely Rin going to be almost certainly falling here once again. A great flag and drag to find that as well. You ready? Also in peril. Jesus. As sincere support continues to charge on up, man. It just feels like the story of this game is, oh, there's the Central Ultimate. Adararde only surviving because of that QSS magic resistance there. But I think the story of this game that you have to look at is Team Ishtar understanding how to deal with the comp that was drafted by Shurima, and Shurima kind of grasping at straws with some of their choices, right? Like, I don't hate Malphite, but it sets up to get completely alley-ooped by this Mordekaiser pick, which I think was absolutely brilliant as far as a last pick is concerned from the side of Team Ishtar. They're also one dragon away from Soul. Like, it just feels like they had such a good read on how to draft this game. And, I mean, credit where credit is due, Team Shurima definitely brought a better draft to the table, but it just feels like they don't have, like, a total read on how to play this one, as the Baron gets started up. And almost no vision in place to try and counter this one.
It's also the fact that, like, again, I like Wanna Fly High. Great jungler, but he's been getting way too aggressive before his team even gets there.
Oh, already down to half. Tycoon pulls him into the cage, says, all right, dude, sure. With the fight starting on up here, Tycoon lands that obliterate over the wall. Adorarde in trouble is definitely Rin falls. The focus from Boperdo, huge, is now a double kill for the Mordekaiser. Sends 3 members of this team into the Shadow Realm. No flash move from Tycoon, but look at that move speed from the Senna. Frostbite lands the shot from downtown. The bomb double for the Zillion.
Oh, is it gonna? No, it didn't save him.
The barrier did not last long to save from that second bomb, popping that one just a little bit too early, but still with 4 members of this team down. An easy path to the Nexus, though. Wanna Fly High has respawned. You ready in 5 more seconds, but there's Ethan forcing the shield on out of the Zillion. Second Nexus tower soon to drop as well, but the respawns have come through. One last shot from Sincere Support will take that second Nexus tower, but Wanna Fly High is made of glass and tissue paper. Look at that damage. A Captain Jack QSS from Sincere Support. That was brilliant play there. Though it looks like he will end up falling for the sake of his team, buying them time to escape.
Everybody played the test static music.
Uh-oh, Voperdo's made a mistake, backing way too aggressively there, falls as well. That's 2 major kills going on down. This could be an avenue for the side of Shurima to buy some control back on the map, but with an open Nexus, it's all dangerous from here.
It's again, like I said, the aggression coming from Wanna Fly High.
Smart call. I really like this choice. You're still 20 seconds off on Sincere Support on Voperdo, so the option from the Mordekaiser is instead to focus on this dragon. I actually don't like Frostbite being here. I feel like there's way too much potential for a misplay that ends up costing them. I mean, Roots coming through. They do have the vision here. Definitely Ren has the ultimate. This could end up being a big deal. Easy secure there for the Elise. Cloud Dragon's Soul is going to get taken, traded for the Baron buff. This will slow down the game a little bit, but still, I don't think that this is a bad place to be in the slightest. They're looking to aggress before the Baron recalls can come through. Definitely Ren catches a stun there on this Malphite. Looking for the move speed, forced to ult defensively. JC flashes. Oh, what an aggressive play from Frostbite. Way on out there. Does get that move speed. Zillion will able to escape there. Frostbite. The Caitlyn coming on through and will take that kill. J4
though, you just left him.
Dude, Voperdo's getting reported after this match.
Oh, man.
Already lands the hook onto the J4, looking for the engage. Cataclysm coming on down. Tycoon is here on the Mordekaiser. It's a 4 versus 5, finding a lot of damage. You ready? Already falls. Flash coming on through Tycoon now. Legendary as he charges into the front line. Literally not quite landing, but JC very much in peril. The Mordekaiser pulls him back in for another kill. Definitely Rin, definitely trying to kite this one out, but can't end up making it work. A triple kill for the Mort as he wants even more, but it's the ace claimed by the Syndra and a game 2 win in the 4v5 coming through for the side of Team Ishtar.
Let's go with that COD montage. Like I said, with the Syndra. Well, there's game 2. And again, Tycoon doing the top lane things, making plays. It's just what can he what can they do? If he wants to play tank, he'll play whatever tank. If he wants to play tank crusher and you want to play tank, he'll crush you.
I think the big thing is that there are I like parts of this composition, but like it's a lot of the decision making that ends up coming short in that game for Shurima, right? Like I want to fly high, very questionably prioritizing top lane, especially after level 6. Like once Tycoon hits that level 6 breakpoint, just don't bother with this lane. You're not gonna get anything done. And I mean, definitely Rin, like, certainly held up better than the previous game, but still ended up kind of falling into this problem where it just felt like the composition drafted by Ishtar had a better understanding of how they needed to play this game, and it ended up panning out for them in a big way. And I mean, a well-deserved win, 100% for Ishtar, and we've already hit match point, right? Like, it's 2-0 up for Ishtar. Shurima desperately needs to find an answer if they want any chance of trying to come back into this.
Yeah, again, there was many moments in that game where I just wanted to say, it feels like there was some miscommunications. Like one Fly High is going aggressive against their team, getting picks, which by all means smart idea and everything. But you got to see where your teammates are, because it seemed like there's multiple times where the bot where CA Shurima's bottling was behind Fly High, but they weren't fully prepared for it.
Yeah.
So while Fly High was doing the damage, don't get it twisted, he was doing the damage, getting everything done. He was just getting way too melted fast.
Yeah, that's just what it was, 100%. But we'll be right back in just a few minutes for the third and potentially final game of the semifinal set. You won't want to miss it here on the Black Twitch League Twitch.tv channel.
I'ma catch your body quick. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body quick. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body quick. Get your body, yeah. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body quick. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body, bitch. 'Cause I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body quick. 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 It's a kamikaze, bitch. It's a kamikaze, bitch. It's a kamikaze, bitch. I'ma get your body quick. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body quick. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body. I'ma get your body quick. 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 It's a kamikaze, bitch. Catch your body, bitch. It's a kamikaze, bitch. It's a kamikaze, bitch. Yeah. I'ma catch your body quick. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body quick. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body. I'ma catch your body quick. It's a kamikaze, bitch.
Good evening, welcome back everyone. We're here for our third and potentially final game of this set between Team Ishtar and Shurima. In both games 1 and 2, Team Ishtar has put on a dominant performance, which means it's the last chance for Shurima to try and make things work to bring us to a fourth game. I'm Gaspone, joined by Applejacks, and we're already underway with this pick and ban for the third game.
Really, no one wants the Yumi in this game at all, clearly. Wukong and Senna being banned from CA Shurima. We already seen what the Senna can do, even though he didn't play a big part in that last game. Still did a lot of supporting.
Right, and we see the Wukong, Senna, and Fiora bans. We've seen a lot of those coming across multiple games here in Team Ishtar. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ornn locked in. I think a very strong choice here. J4 going to be the jungle choice from Shurima, along with the Galio.
We're gonna see. You know what? It's gonna be a Galio mid, hopefully, and hopefully they have someone who can bust it on top.
Misfortune, the AD carry hover here. I don't hate that. I think it's a very good team fighting AD carry. But a little vulnerable to the J4 and the Galio.
Misfortune coming in with the Thresh.
Ooh, the Thresh. That's a very bursty bottom lane. I like that. It's a very different setup from what Team Ishtar has done in games 1 and 2, though, with the Ashe and then the Senna. So I'm curious to see what the plan is. The Trundle ban.
Oh, Trundle ban. The Braum is being picked up as well, so you can block the Ornn ulti again just from last time, which did work, but it wasn't enough to
Caitlyn ban. I think that's a very good choice. Force gonna be forcing. Goodness gracious, Adararde there to be on a different champion for the first time this series. I think not a bad call. Like Gangplank and Syndra also getting banned as well. I like forcing Ethan to play something different as well. Had pretty good Syndra performances. Cleared in game 1 and 2, and now Shurima going into the tank, seeing if they can figure out what they want to lock in here against this Ornn. Cho'Gath may be the answer. We'll see if that's the one or if that's going to get swapped.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick against the Ornn top lane. Of course,
Nivea.
Ooh. This is gonna be spicy if they do pick a Nivea.
We'll see. I feel like a Nivea is a little bit vulnerable, especially to some of the things that Shurima is bringing, with the wave clear and the ability to just burst someone out. Okay. Gonna be seeing the Nivea there, and then last pick likely to be the jungler. Who is it going to be? Oh, Team Ishtar. That is too good. Okay. So it's going to be Ornn in the jungle, right? They're swapping Ornn to jungle, and they baited out the counter pick top lane for the Cho'Gath, right? Which means they can lock in Mordekaiser for that top lane completely free from repercussion, right?
That's dirty.
It is. It's very dirty.
That's dirty.
Now, I think that Vayne is a strong pick here. Like, you've got two very tanky frontliners, and Vayne is also one of a handful of AD carries who actually has tools to match Mordekaiser into the Death Realm without automatically getting run over, right? So I think that one of the big things is that you can just tumble out of the way of that Decimate. You can shove him back so that you're not in range of the the damage over time effect from the shield. But that being said, this is like the third draft in a row where I felt like Team Ishtar has really gotten everything they've wanted, more or less uncontested. And I feel like that casual pivot to putting the Mordekaiser in the top lane off the flex to Orange Jungle, like, yeah, Orange Jungle isn't ideal or anything, but it's not terrible. And I mean, it's really going to be a lot on Wanna Fly High's J4 if he can actually punish that pick.
Yeah. Again, I just can't get over the bait that the Team Ishtar did.
This is super smart. I mean, like, Ornn has been
amazing.
It's been extremely heavily contested this entire series, and you're like, nah, how about we flex it to the jungle instead? Like, no, Ornn is a tier 1 top laner and like a tier 3 jungler. Like, he's not great in the jungle, nowhere near as good as the J4.
But clearly, they want Tycoon to be in the top lane with the Mordekaiser again. Because did you see? Literally, everybody saw what happened last game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tycoon is obviously proficient on both of these champions, so it's a deal where why not get an extremely favorable matchup for Tycoon when he's proven in 2 games in a row that he can totally take over the game? And I mean, like, Ornn in the jungle isn't great, but it's not terrible. Like, he still gets the Ornn horn. Once you get a little bit later into the game, you still do get access to those upgraded items. Like, it's an interesting pivot that I think that Shurima is going to have a tough time dealing with.
Again, like, Ornn is not like you said it's tier 3 jungler, not bad, still viable, and can still gank. Depending on how his approach is, Ornn can be scary even with ganks.
Right.
Literally, all you have to do is just QE, same thing as you do in the top lane. But it's just the fact that, like, at Orange Jungle with an early, the early Sunfire cape with that with the jungle item.
Oh, the Balmy Cinder into
exactly. Yeah.
I think the big thing here is that I wouldn't really like this Ornn if you didn't have Galio and Cho'Gath locked in for solo lanes. Because they do not have the kind of mobility that Ornn can't punish, right? Like he can punish both Galio and Cho'Gath's relative lack of safe mobility very heavily with good Q placement. Like, Galio tries to Justice Punch and just bonks his face into the Ornn terrain, right? Yeah. So there's also the fact that Cho'Gath is in the Mordekaiser, and Cho'Gath has no mobility options. He just has to waddle his fat ass out of these engagements top, and Mordekaiser is going to be busy taking his lunch money with the damage over time, with almost certainly what's going to be a Leander's Rush. And so again, like, this is a top lane where J4 can't gank Mord. Once level 6 hits, it'll just suck him into the Dharma and beat him up. Yeah. And I mean, this is just another draft from Ishtar that has what I would consider a fundamental understanding of how to assemble a team composition at this level. I love it.
But at the same time, you gotta understand, not all, Cho'Gath doesn't have, like, the greatest of escapes, and he's gonna have to waddle his ass back. But you gotta understand, if he's going Glacial Augment, it's not all loss. He can still escape. All you gotta do is just yell at them and then walk away. At the same time, if let's say he builds something with movement speed, like what's it called?
Righteous Glory.
Righteous Glory. Having Righteous Glory there, or even building the GOP, it's not all loss. It's not all loss.
For sure. And I mean, it's going to be another lane where definitely Rin is on the back foot from square one, right?
Yeah.
And if I had not seen Tygoon be so relentless in his ability to punish, I would say, well, it seems pretty likely that Cho'Gath can just slow roll this, but I have fears for definitely Rin in this top lane, and we'll have to see if they end up being founded.
Yeah. Again, it's as we've seen, mid lane, been okay. Bot lane, pretty good fights. It's just been mostly the top lane where it's if either of them gets ahead, it's a game changer. Especially if they're trying to. I'll be honest with you, if they're trying to win, they're gonna have to shut down the Mordekaisers one way or another. Because
exactly,
it's just a literal menace on the Rift.
Mm-hmm.
Literal menace.
I think another thing to look out for here is that while I don't think that there's been any gap in proficiency that's been quite as pronounced as the difficulties that definitely run his face top lane, I think something you can look at too is that Wanna Fly High just does not have the same kind of proactive pathing and decision making that Volperdo does in this one. Right? Volperdo, across both of the previous games in the series, has always felt to be just about a step ahead of Wanna Fly High. And this is a jungle matchup where Shurima's jungler has just been forced to constantly react to the moves that Volperdo is making when jungle is a role that really does reward proactivity. So I'm curious to see if Wanna Fly High can kick it up a notch, shift into a higher gear as far as his pathing decision making is concerned. And I'm curious to see if JC on this mid laner who can really aid his side lanes is going to help make a difference as well.
Yeah. It's again, hopefully Shurima's mentality isn't going down. Hopefully they're keeping that strong mentality. They can still reverse sweep this. They can still do this.
Right. And it was a good sign that they didn't look broken after the first game, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully Cho'Gath will help aid the jungler or the mid laner to just getting ahead. Having I guess 2.5 tanks, because I think German's like tank / bruiser, depending on what path you want to go. Depending on what they go, they can shut down the Ornn and the Mordekaiser. Again though, the Nivea 2 is like a secret. It's just a secret cannon. We won't there's some Niveas who can just burst down literally anything they see. Played correctly, literally kill anything that they set their sights on.
Yeah, 100% on that one. But as we kick on down to the last few seconds of Spectator Delay before the game, we'll be right back for this third and potentially final match of the night. We'll see if Shurima has what it takes to bring us further into the series. You don't want to miss it here on the Black Twitch League Twitch.tv channel.
What up?
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are back and ready to go with our third game of this best of 5 set. Currently, Team Ishtar leading 2-0 over Shurima. Shurima really looking to get a point on the scoreboard and bring us to a game 4, and it's Ishtar, of course, looking to close out in a clean 2-0. I'm Gaspump, joined by Apple Jackson once again. See that 5-man stack from Ishtar screaming out the fountain, looking potentially for this early pick. Oh, yeah. Definitely running trouble. Hook lands completely blind. This is a dead Cho'Gath. And first blood, Volperdo.
All right, so FF at 20? Man, that's detriment. That's just detriment.
That's heartbreaking. I mean, Volperdo gets to go back to base and He could pick up another jungle item, but he doesn't. The thing that's so tough about this is like, not only do you get that kill, you get the early gold acceleration, but you also get back soon enough that you're not even going to have to miss out on your optimal camp start timing.
Yeah.
Like, that just honks.
If maybe
this Cho'Gath right over the wall. Tycoon is around. A little bit deeper, trying to get some vision of this red buff spotted out there, though. They do start is on that red buff. Cho'Gath does have the priority in the bush. We'll get some potential damage on the Tycoon, but just walks back on out instead.
Right. It's just I don't know. I'm thinking if I was in definitely Ren's shoes, like what would I be thinking? Like you already having, you know, all the eyes on you. I'm thinking, like, you know, you're trying to do this for your team.
You can't look. That wasn't his fault, right?
It wasn't his fault. No,
I mean,
of course it wasn't his fault.
Maybe a little bit cleaner positioning, and you can pop the flash.
It wasn't his fault at all.
But just, God, how unlucky can you get?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like of course it's not your fault. You're not the team.
Mm-hmm. But of course, like, you have to think about, like, how much is that getting into his head, right? Like he knows just as well as we do that he's had a tough time in these past 2 games, and that he really needs to be stepping up for this one. And then that happens to you. That's just got to be
hold up, I got one. Hold up.
Yes.
Right now I'm at 246.
I'm at 240. I'm at 250, 51.
We're 51, 52, 3. Okay.
What's going on? Okay, Wanna Fly High getting found out here by Roberto there. There's the pop-up coming on through one more auto tap.
No way.
If he goes for
No
the
way.
Q lands, he gets the heal off the smite. What a play from Roberto! Oh my goodness!
Oh my god. It doesn't matter where the orange goes! It does not matter where the orange goes.
Hero. Ethan in trouble now. Will get popped into the egg, taking a ton of aggro from the minions. This is certainly going to be killing the Nivea. What a mistake from Ethan!
Wow, that was. Yeah, in my days, I've never seen the Gallagher ever win that fight.
Yeah, that was a bit of a whoopsie.
But
So.
Jesus Christ, it literally put Ornn anywhere and he will just wreck. Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, holy moly, that was such a crazy outplay from Roberto, though. The fact that he gets that kill and gets out, smiting the camp to stay alive through the tower shot is, powerful.
Especially the fact that he even took the chance to do that. It's just crazy. And just quick thinking too. Just like he didn't even hesitate. Did not hesitate a second.
Yeah. Pure confidence. I love it.
It's just crazy, like the amount of quick thinking you're gonna have to do for that. The amount of confidence you have to just go in there, not care, take the kill, know what to do next, move out safely, and just that confident boost in the jungler. Literally having the confident boost in the jungler, you
That's the kind of play that you think like, oh, well, you know, that's pretty aggressive for a Lee Sin, and then it's just Ornn going in Ornn like that. Yeah, it's nuts. I love it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh man. We see the J4 trying to get the dragon over here.
All right, and yeah, I mean 2-1 already, but a 1,000 gold lead already drummed up for the side of Team Ishtar and Tycoon. Not quite the same massive creep lead that we've seen previously, and we do see the 3-man stack coming on down there, claiming that early dragon, a nice use of that time, but meanwhile, Frostbite and Sincere Support drumming up that creep lead bottom. Yeah, this is a tough situation for the Cho'Gath. You don't want to be shoved into the tower as that champion. The last inning can be very awkward for him. So yeah, it's kind of
and that's where you depend on your skills too. You depend on using your E and your Q to get the last hits on the minions.
And it's like there's such awkward thresholds for the timing, for the damage they do. That Cho'Gath really can have kind of a tough time if he's backed up under his tower. So pushing that out there is certainly a good option, but Mordekaiser going back for the immediate haunting, guys. Oof.
Yeah, and we see the Cho'Gath here starting to build either the Iceborne Gauntlet, most likely the Iceborne Gauntlet, into this lane. Adding more slows to it. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I
think that maybe that also goes into Righteous Glory as well, which could be the choices. Also have to pick up the Rejuvenation beam, which I think is that Righteous Glory Crystalline Bracer component. So we'll have to see where the build path goes on that one. I mean, there's a variety of ways that Cho'Gath can take this lane, but Tycoon looking for the 1v1 again here top. Pulling him straight into the Death Realm. Some real good damage. Hauling him back on in here. Definitely Rin eating that damage. Here comes the Galio, though. Quite a lot of healing on in there, looking for the bounce castle. Tygoon gets taunted. That's the kill. JC saving his top laner.
Let's go. That communication going through there.
Ethan forced the flash there. Nice job to get out of that one, but the Anivia pretty much sans defense. Roberto coming on through does have that Ornhorn available. We'll be calling that through onto the J4. Lands the pop-up, finds that damage. The Wombo is there, and with just a sliver of health remaining, forced to smite the red buff for health.
That was quick thinking, and to be honest, I don't understand how that even went through. Usually it stops after the orb knockup. It usually doesn't even do the animation for the E and Q. So that was pretty lucky.
It was a nice buffer there from Wanna-Fly High's J4 to get that off before the pop-up came through and his life was forfeit. So Chip's finally starting to follow the way of Shurima in this game, but still that 1,000 gold lead for the side of Team Ishtar leaves questions.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a big lead gap coming from the MF and the Vayne. As you can see that they're almost 30 CS. Yeah, they're 30 CS down coming from the Vayne. But all is not lost. All is not lost. And in your opinion, do you think what do you think? Do you think the Vayne, even if she's behind, will she be still able to do as much as she wants to, or do you think if the MF was behind, do you think she'll be more useful?
I think the big thing, but here's the engage coming on through. You ready? Finding the Thresh teleport channel. Sincere support is there. Looking for that stun. Will get the taunt as well as that assist as Adararte takes that kill. A nice engage coming through from the Braum and the Vayne to pick up that kill. And I think a big thing that's going to be kind of the decider here is Vayne allowed to get to the point where she is 2.5 items without her team being behind.
And it's also the fact that it was a great TP coming from the Galio. Just coming in there just in clutch of time, having the stun going off on the Thresh from Braum, and just doing the damage. It was good. Yeah. And also just having the taunts go off against that Thresh, so he wouldn't be able to do anything to the Vayne.
Nice stun from Ethan here, and something that we kind of question this Anivia pick.
Yeah.
And it really has not done a whole lot here. Like, yes, it's wave clear, but it's also extremely mana dependent. And Galio has just kind of been having his run of the map completely for free this game. And what I'm really looking for here is for Tygoon to start really flexing on this top lane. Right? Like, Cho'Gath's going for that Righteous Glory, which, yes, defensive stats, but it really hampers the ability of the Cho'Gath to actually take Tycoon in the 1v1, especially so we don't see the Glacial Augment, which means that this Cho'Gath is not going to have the same kind of teamfight presence that we may have seen from that more CC oriented build.
It's also crazy too because we like especially me, I kind of doubted the Galley pick on this thing. Why how is Galley gonna really do anything? But hey, he's been putting in work, being there at the right time for his teammates, and just even
1v1 definitely Ren pulling with it. Look at that healing onto Tycoon, looking to kite this one out. It's a huge problem for definitely Rin. Misses the obliterate, but it won't even matter as Tycoon crosses the Mordekaiser threshold and comes up with a solo kill. Teleport channeled in here. The mid lane, that's going to be the Galio ult coming on through. Ethan in trouble. Misfortune joining the fight, has that ultimate available. Frostbite looking for this. Channels it across the team, but JC gets that nice pop-up. Got this one out. JC could be in trouble. That's the flash coming for Wanna Fly High. Sincere support here on the thresh. They are able to clean up that kill. Boperdo is here, but Sincere support may be paying this ultimate price for their folly. A triple straight to the waiting arms of Adararde's Vayne.
oh yeah, and we gotta again. The Braum pick coming out really well against this Ord, stopping the ulti multiple times. Even now during this detrimental team fight, managed to stop the ulti from coming down and just getting like a 3-man to 4-man knockup against that team fight. That kind of really messed up Team Ishtar's team fight too, because they're kind of dependent on that too, on that Ornn ulti.
Boperdo popping the Rift Shell top lane. I think the big thing you need to look at that fight is you gotta call it like it is, right? That was straight up inting from Ethan's Anivia, teleporting directly in the middle of a team fight, straight to the Galley ultimate. Didn't get a single ability off and died instantly. Like that is not the Anivia play you need to make. You gotta teleport further away, even if it takes a few seconds for you to join the fight. It's better than going in to die instantly. And I think that maybe if the Anivia is there, doesn't get immediately bursted on out there, Misfortune has some heat off, maybe you can channel the ultimate, but it was not to be. Ethan must be careful here, and really JC putting the moves on Ethan and the Anivia.
And I've yet to see a bad ulti coming from the Galio. Galio's ulti has been on point during all this, whether it's solo or even in team fights. It's just been clutch on these team fights, especially getting a 3-man knockup during that fight. It's crazy how much he's doing for this team.
Oh, for sure. That being said, the Galio does kind of eventually start falling off, right? But I think a major thing is, how is Tycoon looking to play this? Adararde goes in looking for Frostbite. That's a ton of damage. J4 here. Right place, right time. Wanna Fly High taking that kill, and now Sincere support going to be eating another death and feeding another kill over to the Vayne. Obliterate misses. Tycoon getting some good damage down against definitely Ren's Cho'Gath. Pop-up's landing though, and it will buy definitely Ren away on out of this one. But I mean, look at that shield. Look at that damage. Oof, the pull just barely missing there. Boperdo's Ornn has arrived, and for the first time all series, it looks like Shurima may have a grasp on this game. There's the Galio coming through in the top lane, forcing the Mordekaiser on back out. Nice taunt landing. Does get that shield. JC getting burned down slowly but surely by Tycoon. The nice pull, trying to buy the escape there. Definitely Ren flashes to pop up, arrives in Anivia. Too late to make the difference once again.
JC really being the MVP right here. Yeah. Even though, yes, the Vayne has 5 kills and everything, if it's not because of that team fight down in the Dragon Pit, Vayne wouldn't even been this fed. And not that the fact that, like you said that, Gallery does fall off, but it's the fact that JC hasn't even been trying to get the kills, been trying to give it to the Vayne, so that Vayne can pop off. And again, JC is just doing the smart thing and just letting the Vayne get fed, having his teammates get the kills. Other than him, unless it's necessarily needed to kill that person, he's not really taking anything. These 3 kills he has just been pity kills.
Oh, it was a nice trip on the bot lane. Like, I'd already definitely earned that, but it's still a 5-0 Vayne who is very, very strong.
Right? Of course.
But I think a big thing to kind of consider here is, well, the real weak point of this squad isn't the orange jungle or anything. It's that mid lane Anivia. JC has been allowed to do absolutely whatever he wants so far. And as the Anivia gets further into this game, gets some item completions, yes, the Anivia will start being able to do things better, but you have a lot of dive potential. once again, prey in the bot lane. More teleport coming on through here. Frostbite very much in peril. Sincere Support forced to flash on out to safety. And I mean, it's pick after pick after pick going the way of Shurima, and they are really forcing these early game advantages. And I mean, all credit where credit is due. Wanna Fly High is having a very good game here on this Jake.
Yeah, especially the fact that like he's been like the past 2 games he hasn't been really paying attention to bot that much, but in this game specifically he's been paying attention to bot, and it's paying off with the Vayne going 6-0, doing just work.
Oh, J-Force back here again. They're looking for Boperdo. Tries to charge on out. Since your support is the target on this thresh, pops the golden mode. Wanna Fly High eating those tower shots. Will be forced to flash. Tygoon coming through, met with the teleport. Ornhorn goes on down. Gets that killing spree. Looking for definitely Rin. This could be the turn that they absolutely need. Definitely Rin is going to get ground down by the damage, and Boperdo now on a rampage, turning for 2 off the teleport from Tygoon.
Understandable for definitely Ren just to sacrifice himself during that fight, but it wasn't needed to. But again, managed to get the Vayne to safety, keeping that 600 bounty on him, not giving it to anyone important to Team Ishtar. And the moment that Vayne does get killed, whoever gets that 600 bounty goal is gonna get ahead.
But I mean, you have to look at this. Look at the leads generated for Shurima this game. They're 4 kills up, but still 1,000 gold down. And it's felt like this across basically every game of the series, where even if Team Shurima is playing very well, playing very smartly, and pick up these kills, they're just falling behind in gold.
Yeah, even like we can see the CS difference. And the only one that's actually technically doing well is the Galio.
Right, like I don't think the members of Team Shurima are playing poorly by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels like in terms of just raw gold generation, the ability to take these, there's problems. Galio looking for the taunt, will find it on the Tygoon. Pop-up comes on through, but a nice hook lands and pulled straight back into the waiting arms of the rest of the squad. That's the Cataclysm on in. Bullet time missing from this Fortune. Definitely Rin, hold on back there. Ethan looking for that CC, for that damage. Misfortune is able to clean up that kill. That's 2 picked up there in the top lane. Vayne looking for that structure, but the inner tower will fall in bot as the trade.
Again, it looked like CA Shurima was playing on their cards right and getting ahead, which again, not behind. Oh, they're still not out of the game, but it just feels like Ishtar is just coming back slowly and surely, getting the MF the kills as well, coming back with just an abundance amount of gold.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, able to pick up the already has the Essence Reaver, picking up more components for that Infinity Edge in the Vayne. Very close in itemization, but it just feels like every time there's something that appears to be an even trade, it's Ishtar coming out with these advantages, these unseen small elements, the CS leads, picking up an extra tower here and there, getting the gold on these important members. And up to this point, it just feels like every time there's a 50-50, it's Shurima just a little bit further behind than they should be.
And it's crazy too, because even with, if you can see, like, we don't even know if the Vayne went back to buy yet, or maybe she did go to buy. It's kind of crazy the fact that like that MF is matching with Vayne item wise, even though Vayne has 6 kills, literally 4 kills more ahead of.
They are less than 100 gold apart at this exact moment.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's just good gold. It's a good lane assignments, giving gold to the right players. I mean, Frostbite did get solo gold for a tower. They're looking for continued pressure mid here. I like that they're kind of slow rolling this one. Frostbite needs to be very safe here in this MF. Any engage would be his death. So I mean, again, like this is a game where this is the closest it's been at 20 minutes in each of these matches, but it's still a 2,000 gold lead for Ishtar.
It's crazy. It literally shows you how much of a powerhouse Ishtar is.
Yes. It's a perfect illustration of that. Yeah, 100% Applejacks.
It doesn't matter if they're behind. They can be feeding all they want, but if for some reason they will still have more objectives than you and still have more communication than you.
It's the decisions to trade. It's the CS, the individual mechanics for CSing in lane. It's very smart pathing from Boperdo. I feel like if there is one player who has really pulled his weight all series, it's Boperdo.
Oh yeah,
Like there has never been a part in any of these games where I felt that he has put on a poor performance. And I mean, that's been matched with Tycoon. This top side of the map is very strong. There's guys coming in for wanna fly high, sincere support stuck in the cage, but that's a great misfortune. Ult raining hell across the team. Will trade 1-for-1 though, as Vayne does go down. Adararte claiming that kill, the 1-for-1 jungler for jungler.
And that what like I understand what JC was trying to do with that ulti, but it wasn't the best ulti. Granted, yes, did try to give the armor to the J4 before you're going down and trying to save him, poor fan, but it was just to no avail.
Yeah, I just wasn't able to get that ult across the team, and kind of an unlucky situation there. But I think a big thing to look at here too is the fact that now that we are closing in on 200 Nivea, Ethan is able to just park that ult on top of waves and watch them melt.
Man, this is still a close game. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, especially Shurima, because again, this is the kind of lead where if you are able to take 2 team fights in a row, that's how you cement your actual full lead. And you have a Vayne. Once that Rage Blade is completed, even if you live out of a team fight with just the Cho'Gath and the Vayne, you can absolutely take that Baron with just the Vayne's damage.
Yeah, for sure. Again, Vayne's still 7-0. Still can carry this game. Can still be the hyper carry that team CA Shurima needs.
But I think a big thing here is, really where these teams are going to try and choose to fight. Right?
Yeah,
Team sure. Ishtar does want these chokes instead of the misfortune, instead of the Ornn. And it's going to be a big part of these fights how they find those corridors and those avenues. Now, 2 Infernal Drakes, that's a pretty hefty bonus to damage here for this squad. And looking to melt through these health bars, certainly going to be welcome. Also, looking up top, Mordekaiser has reached that 2-item breakpoint with Leander. So he's going to be shredding through the health bars of those front lines. If he's put in the side lane versus, say, the Cho'Gath.
And it's crazy. It's crazy too, because even then, I still feel like the Mordekaiser, even though like Vayne is 7-0, I feel like even then, if Mordekaiser comes in with a good ulti and kills the Vayne, it's just over.
But it's worth mentioning that Adararte has paid the QSS tax this game. If Mordekaiser pops the Death Realm onto her, doesn't necessarily mean anything. And JC, if you're the Mordekaiser, now there you go. Force that out there. Tygoon wants to take that fight versus the Galio, because you just smash that 1v1 like nobody's business. Yeah, both solo laners do have that teleport available. Tygoon again wants to continue aggressing down here. Like you make sure that you are in a situation where Adararte is not coming down from Mordekaiser. Adararte is really the only one who can super put threat on this Mordekaiser in a 1 versus 2 situation. Mid lane tower under threat. Nivea in the neighborhood. Not going to opt for the play. Definitely ran very tanky already with 2 items on board. Mordekaiser looking for this continued push in the bot lane, but no tower there means that no bonus score for this team drummed up by his continued presence.
Yeah, this guy, this Mordekaiser is not playing a little bit of a risky game. You're by yourself.
Is here, has the Death Realm available. Oh, wow, look at that burn damage. Galio coming on through here. That's the Death Realm on in, pulling JC. It's a lot of damage and a lot of healing. Pulls up the shields. For the CC, another obliterate. The Ornn Horn is through. Will take that kill. Forces the flash, and that's a big deal to be able to take that solo. Actually a sizable mistake by Tygoon there. Not flashing out of the CC.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big yikes. If he lives there, you might get to 1 versus 2. Ugh.
Yeah, a little bit, again, a little bit too bold on that, pushing it on ahead. I get it. We understand. You're Mordekaiser. You can fight anyone in the world, but at the same time, you can't just get too overconfident. Remember, you have a team.
Yeah. Oh, that being said, though, Ornn getting closer and closer to getting those upgraded items, right? So,
sure.
I think it's again, Mordekaiser also getting close to the Zanya's Hourglass, which will be able to mitigate some of the CC and the burst. He was very close to 1 versus 2 there. I think if he lands some more damage, doesn't cancel any auto attacks, and really looks to get that Conqueror healing in. I think that's going to end up making the difference, but still not quite at that huge breakpoint yet.
100% too. Just again, Mordekaiser with the Conqueror and just having the Leandri Rylai's, it's just he can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, Rylai or Leandri's is a absurd amount of damage as they do start this Baron up. Mordekaiser tries to teleport, as does Cho'Gath and JC. Teleport is channeled. Ethan, you went the wrong way, Chief. You need to play that one safely. Cho'Gath is going to go over the wall there. They don't have vision, and Mordekaiser, that's a free teleport taken there just to stop the Baron. That's not ideal, but they do look to start up this objective themselves.
Very bold.
Cleared out. Mordekaiser is here. Teleport channeled from the Mord. Ornn ult coming on through, not stopped in time by the Braum, looking for the bullet time. Is channeled across the team, but Galio to the backline. Adorarde now legendary. Tycoon looking for definitely Rin, shredding that Cho'Gath on down Adorarde in the front line, but gets CC down and dies. That's a huge pickup. Really questionable aggression there for Adorarde, and it's only Uretti who's the last man standing. And with 4 on this Baron, they look to take.
It's crazy too because the one that got the bounty from Vayne was the MF.
Oh no!
It was the MF getting the double kill and literally getting the Vayne bounty. It's doomed.
That looked so good, and all it comes down to is Adorarde misplaying on the Vayne, diving way too deep in the back line, has all summoners and the QSS available, didn't pop any of that, gets obliterated by the CC chain, and ends up handing the Baron off to a team that is very much in position to take advantage of it.
It's also crazy too because what's it called? The MF played out very well as well because as Galio was leaving, he decided to hit his Q against the Braum and it bounced off to Galio, getting the kill.
Oh wow! Goodness gracious! A great Anivia wall to hold back the attempt there. No tells remember the Mordekaiser yet. Tycoon in the front line here, taking a ton of damage from the Vayne, getting absolutely shredded down. Flashes for nothing. This could be the fight. The Vayne wants a misfortune ult across the team. Adorarde getting so much damage on in there. And there's the Cataclysm coming through the J4. Immediately obliterated for the double kill. Adorarde with the CC is there. JC trying to make it work and will find it. Goes on in a quadra for the Vayne.
Is this it? Is this it? Is this the first penta of the game?
And a pentakill for Adorarde, all flying into his pockets. 13 1-1, keeping the dream alive for Shurima.
Adorarde just saying, nah, I messed up that Baron fight. My bad. Let me show you how it's done. And just decimated. Played very well, spacing out everything during that dragon fight. And just showed you how to play a Vayne.
I think the big thing there too is it sucks they didn't have the summoners used on the Baron, but they were put to great effect at that dragon. And a big thing to look at as well, Tycoon did not have the Death Realm up for that. And that is such a major cooldown for the Mordekaiser. Ended up getting obliterated by the Vayne before anything could happen. And that's a crucial mistake, especially popping the flash only to die to that final auto attack. That's real rough, and Adorarde is in danger of carrying this game single-handedly.
Granted, yes, that was a great fight and everything, but for some reason, Shurima is still 2k gold down.
I mean, that's just the power of the CS, it's the power of taking the Baron.
Of course.
But you have to think, who's the gold on? The answer is Vayne. All that money's on Vayne, who is now only 1,000 above the Misfortune, but Misfortune isn't positioned to carry a fight like Vayne is right now.
No, of course not.
Adorarde, no flash, no heal, only the Mercurial Scimitar as that defensive option, right? So if the Vayne does get locked down, does eat that CC, especially the 2 in a row, could spell curtains for Shurima. Adorarde playing on the knife's edge.
Adorarde is a Superman now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also mentioning the fact that one more dragon for the side of Shurima gives them soul on this one, and we're looking at probably the first game of the series where Ishtar is not positioned to just take any fight they like. They really have to be choosy about how they want to take these fights, push and pull around the map to try to make things happen. And I think a big key component of this is how Tycoon is looking to play these fights. He can't just wander in willy-nilly. He's not enormously fed like he has been in the previous games. He's gotta pick his battles carefully.
And it's scary how close these games are getting now. Like, it's crazy because everybody here has been thinking, oh, Ishtar is going to be able to get a 3-0. They've been playing super smart for the past 2 games, but it showed, and like you would legitimately think that Team CA Shurima's mentality would have gone down to train and just like be like, oh, whatever, we're gonna lose this. But no, they have that fighting spirit, bringing it back, having that Vayne carry. It's scary what one person can do for a whole team.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is literally Adarade versus the world. The thing that is concerning, though, is that as some of these members from the side of Team Ishtar scale up, because really the only major scaling threat on this team is Adarade, and you're up against Tycoon's Mordekaiser, you've got an Ornn who's getting those ornaments online. Misfortune does do damage, but has to be positioned a little bit more carefully for that to happen. There's enough CC flying around that if Adarade does get hit with, say, a knockup or the 2-layered CCs after the QSS goes off, he's in prime time for a blasting, right? Heal's almost up, options defensively for the Vaynes, so I'm very surprised we didn't see some more aggression trying to punish that cooldown.
I guess it's just that fear of just of losing, either losing the fight or just of the fear of just maybe something else is gonna happen. It's just it's the doubtness that comes through a lot of fights, and thinking that maybe saving your spells or saving some summoners is better than wasting it now.
Double lift, is that you?
Yeah. Who needs a heal? Only you.
Oh, a nice catch on out to you. Ready. Drop down into a sliver. First of all, the Gargoyle Stone Plate, but not enough damage to burn him out all the way.
Greediness.
Man, I feel like if they had maybe popped the flash over the wall and tried to force onto that play, you get even more from that. But Cho got pulled back out of the blast cone. Well, there was a chase that was going to happen there. Rip.
Questionable, but
teleport channeled from JC coming back in on the Galio. Okay.
Oh, whoa.
It's fine, dude. We have appointments too.
Deja vu.
I've been here at this place before. Speaking of zooming on in there, Righteous Glory pop by Definitely Ren. They're going to look to try to take this dragon fight. Nice wall on out to stop the Braum. That's the go button coming on through. Tycoon pulling one of the Death Realm. They're looking for this target. They find that damage, but it's absolutely Adarade smashing, absolutely dynamiting those players in the backline. Health bar's taking down to just a sliver. Misfortune does not have that. That's JC getting a taunt on through, but Adarade finds the Misfortune, tries to flash, tries to make it work. The winner's fight ends up with triple kill. Now looking for Roberto. There's the tumble on in for Adarade, a huge stun, and another quadra kill coming through for the Vayne. 17-1-1. His team's hopes and dreams alive.
Jesus Christ. Adarade carrying the CA Shurima flag and pushing towards enemy lines, not giving a damn, saying, don't worry, team, I got you. This is the chance. We're going to bring it back.
Here comes the Vayne train. Adarade, 17-1-1, approaching that full build mark, is absolutely going off this game. No prisoners for the AD carry of Shurima. And this game looked like a lost cause from draft, but it comes down to that early mistake of giving Adarade the triple, and he has taken that golden run with it. Second Baron of the game, easily secured. Fire Dragon Soul easily secured, and perhaps a win soon to be secured as well for the side of Shurima.
Where's the Confessor stand? I need to buy I Love Adarade t-shirts. Literally carrying this game. We're gonna call him the ace of CA Shurima during this game.
I mean, this is just a Vayne clinic, right? Still has the flash. Still has Mercurial Scimitar. Now with a complete Adarade has hit critical mass on this Vayne build. It would take a miracle or a major misplay for him to get locked on down now. And we talked about this earlier in the set, but momentum is such a huge deal. If this is Shurima taking home the win here, it makes it that much easier to bounce back and bring us to a potential Game 5 series.
It's just that it's like I said, the mentality of Team CA Shurima is just unwavering.
Yeah.
It's just unwavering. Just the amount of trust they have against each other.
But you look at the gold difference, right? It's still 400 gold in the lead.
But the thing, it's no longer 2,000.
Right, and not for long. And I mean, all of this money on Adararde. Now, if there is a world where Adararde can be killed and they focus everything onto the Vayne, this may be the engagement Tycoon coming on through. A bit of damage there. Shogath already dropped down to half health, taking quite a bit of punishment.
And just look at it now. See, Shurima's above gold.
Yeah. They finally have a gold lead. Wow. Again, like, public enemy number 1 is Adararde. You need to, if you dump everything to kill him, you probably win the fight afterwards. He's the only major damage source on this team, and I'm very curious to see. Ishtar has the focus, has the ability to dive in onto that backline and find that Vayne.
It's crazy how much, like, literally, if I was the AD carry right now, if I was Adararde, I would be just playing my mind off. The amount of focus, determination. If there was an earthquake or a house fire happening right now, I wouldn't have cared.
He is weak. Hands are sweaty. Oh, there's the hook landing onto Wanna Fly High there, but countered on the Tycoon. And I mean, this is the pressure point, right? If there is a mistake to be made here, it could be absolutely fatal for Shurima, but they have control. They're slow rolling it. Elder Dragon on the horizon, only about 2.5 minutes away. They're looking to kind of get some map pressure here, but they haven't cracked an inhibitor, and they've burned off the entirety of Baron, which is a load off of Ishtar's mind. Gold lead still ever so slightly in the favor of Shurima here, but I have to wonder, if an Elder Dragon does occur, right? This is just such a dicey game. And I mean, this Mordekaiser pick was so clever into the top lane, but Tycoon just has not had the kind of impact that he needs this game. And a lot of it comes from the fact that Adararde is just enormous.
Yeah. What's going to be scary here right now is the fact that, like, you know, Riot decided to add the Elder Drake just to, you know, turn the tides. It's do or die. Like, who cares about the Baron when the Elder Drake is there?
Literally, what's up about this Elder Dragon too is that you have Smite and Shogath Feast to secure that, right?
Yeah.
So gonna have to be real careful around that one. And Elder Dragon, over a minute now, gonna be the next major objective to contest around Adararde. All summoners, all abilities, full build on this Vayne. But matched by the Misfortune, who's gonna be looking for that optimized bullet time and want some eagle eyes for the CC train, looking to stop that ability coming through. So nearly 40 minutes on the clock in this game number 3. Neither team budging from their position, but JC taking a cheeky tower here top lane and nobody there to match. Pretty surprising, all things considered. That was just a free picker from the Galio's push. Has that teleport, and for now it's Ishtar finally on the back foot, just getting pulled across the map from the power provided. This Vayne's very presence.
This game is just making my hands sweaty.
Getting closer and closer to the Elder Drake timer now. 20 seconds from coming on live. Look at that damage onto the Shogath. He's getting absolutely burned on down there. Just not enough to actually take the kill. Tycoon in the top lane, though, looking for JC. Pulls him into the Death Realm. There's a major cooldown to expend so early. Tycoon doing a lot of damage there. JC gets pulled out back. That's a huge solo kill. This is the teleport coming through for the Mordekaiser. Vayne is here. They may try to take the 4 versus 5. Cho'Gath has returned, bringing it teleport, a great wall, pulling him on back in, but that's Randy on the front lines. But no death roam for Tygoon, forced to pop the Zhonya's. Rin is down. A Cradle for the Misfortune is going to shred down here ready, but there is the Flag and Drag from make it work. So much tankiness. He will fall. Adarade is the only man to try to make it work. You're ready. Very, very low. But it's up 2 versus 4. Adarade still has the summoners, but no ultimate available. They're going to try to make this work. But what a huge wall coming through for the Inhibitor. Winner's Bite over the wall, and there's no way they can take it. A blue team Dragon take. It's going to be Ishtar finally pulling back into it.
Oh no, just getting caught out by the Mordekaiser, getting the TP down.
Oh, and straight to the Baron. Oh, goodness. Adarade close to that ult again, but still 4 members of this team up. No smite to secure, but want to fly high, not available. And look at this Baron getting shredded, already falling into the pockets of Ishtar, and they've assembled Exodia. Both top-level buffs, Boperdo respawning. That was the fight that they needed. And now ball back in the courts of Ishtar.
Again, a great pick coming from Tygoon. Just trying to again, just like how Adarade is trying to prove his team. Same thing coming from Tygoon, trying to say, guys, I know I messed up. I know I did it, but let me prove to y'all. Let me show you guys that I am the top laner.
And I mean, if you saw how big those health bars were, but how fast they were burned down of force from Ishtar, they need to be careful. They need to be smart about their placement, about where they're going in. This mid lane inhibitor doubtlessly will fall. The wall from Anivia, a key cooldown. Watch out for it. Death Realm back up from Mordekaiser. All ults available from both teams. They take the inhib. They're looking to push deeper into the base, but the call is to go back towards top, play it safe, play it slow, get the towers, get the inhibs, use your push pressure and your macro to get what you need here. Reinforcing wave is a double coming through. An easy take on this inner tower. And the last line of defense on this top level inhibitor plans on to only 1, but the cooldown not that long at all. Any attempt at the backline will need to be massive, but that inhibitor tower falling. Second inhib not too far off. They're playing this so slow, so smart.
No!
Picked off. That's huge going down already. But Adarade focused down by Boperdo. They're looking for this front line. Galio tries to get the ult on him, but that's everyone but the Vayne. Adarade looks for the back line. The Guardian is up. The QSS a moment too late. And just like that, Team Ishtar takes the ace, takes the comeback, and heads to Grand Finals.
Oh, man.
Wow, what a showing from Ishtar. I thought for certain that Adarade on the Vayne, but it simply was not to be. Team Ishtar taking it 3-0.
That was an amazing game. An amazing showing from both CA Shurima and Team Ishtar. Literally, this could have been the finals. This could have been the finals, and I would have been like,
yeah, that last game was edge of your seat. But when it came down to the wire, it was Team Ishtar who had the stuff to make it happen.
Look,
and
I don't care what anyone says. Even though Team Ishtar won that, Adarade is the MVP of that game.
Adarade played out of his mind that game, but there was just simply not enough from the rest of the squad to make it work. Kind of a dearth of damage coming through from the top side, and performance for Adarade across every game of this series. Team Ishtar working as a unit ends up showing the power of that 5-man stack.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. For sure. I mean, just, and a good series overall. And I think that if you're on the other side of the bracket playing in the other semifinal, you have to look at this game and say, what do we do about Team Ishtar in our games tomorrow? Right?
It's crazy too, because like no one would have thought like CA Shurima would have been would have done this well. But literally that was scary how CA Shurima just didn't back down. They got beat to the ground, got back up, threw a left hook, got hit again, went back down, didn't care, just threw themselves up,